Okay, let's see here. There we go. Let's go to title map. Hello everyone. It's me, Context. Just I've been meaning to make a video like this for a while. Where I just check up on some stuff on Byoc, like the single player tile maps and all that. Also, a bit of an update on my current situation of not being able to play. Uh, Simply put, no, I can't hear myself with this music on. Okay. Okay, so currently, I just can't compile Zandro for a Debian slash Ubuntu environment. So I'm unable to more or less play. So until I could get that resolved. And the way I was playing before was through a flatpak through the DRD team, a flatpak of Zandro. But that that hasn't been updated since 2021. So I guess it's been lucky I haven't had the update since. But so currently I just can't I can't play for them at the moment. And but I do have a couple ideas of fixing it before I go the nuclear option, getting off this freaking meme of an OS called Pop. Do not go Pop OS. If you're gonna go Linux, don't use Pop. It's like not quite bleeding edge, but it's also just like everything's kind of segmented off from Pop. So anything that would have worked in Debian, in theory, could work in Pop, but you have to compile stuff specifically for Pop, which is why I just can't have a compiled version of Xandro 2.0 or Xandro 3.2 compiled for Byoc. So if you're wondering why you haven't seen me on servers of it, it's because I literally just can't play on Linux or Pop OS specifically. So sorry to those guys who probably wanted to play. Uh, I got some ideas to fix it. I'm probably just gonna load up a wine setup and just run the Windows version of Xandro. I wouldn't be surprised if it just runs fine, if not maybe even a little better for certain situations. But I'll try to get that done this weekend, or whenever. Don't know when this video is coming up. Hoping to have this one up soon. But if you're wondering why we're here and looking at this, it's mainly just I just want to look at some of the title screen stuff from the older versions and just kind of have it like archived on my YouTube page in the event that it becomes lost to time. It's like there are some old skull tag mods that are lost to time that can't be played anymore. So I thought, hey, might as well get these older versions of Byoc and just kind of archive them, or at least the public ones. I don't have access to those old pre 1.01 versions that have those secret characters that haven't been released for one reason or another. But yeah, so the tile screen for Byoc initially it's modest. I do kind of wonder what they were going with this idea, because like you got this pillar and you got this big metal thing and you got this thing I assume a portal. It's interesting what they were trying. It's like well, okay, maybe that's not that interesting, but that's a start. Like they definitely go a little harder on this stuff in the later versions. It's like it's very clear. They got some people there on the team who are getting proficient at mapping. I just realized one side is scrolling, but not the other. Oh man. Oh no. Rest in peace, Byoc 1.0. We knew you well. Well, before we go, we gotta enable the music again. Um, it's a little loud because I'm doing this through wireless headphones, and I don't have like good audio coming out of it because Linux doesn't support some kind of specific. I think it's a codec for wireless headphones where you could get high quality stereo through Bluetooth, and you can't have that on Linux apparently, or at least with the headphones I got in. It sucks. All right, let's see if I remember this yet. Hello, John Romero. Ah, that should have killed him. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's not what I want. It's just, yeah. This is okay. We'll try that again. Try to get to the intermission here. Yeah. Might be. I don't know why I'm doing it. Just punch him. Oh, jeez, that's so loud on these headphones. Oh, it sounds so warped. If you're wondering, this is from Thunder Force 4. It's the level select menu. Gotta say, it's really nice. Like the entire game's OST was really good. So, yeah, it's really good. I love listening to it, but I'm sure people here aren't super interested in listening to this forever. Yeah, they want to see the other Byoc stuff. So if you give me a moment here, let me go get 2.0 now, or not 2.0, but 1.5. Oh man, let's see. Because it's a flatpak, I gotta dig into the var app directory. Yeesh. I mean, flatpak seemed pretty decent in concept. Let's see. Come on. All right, 1.5.3. Here we go with the arguably a pretty good intro, I would say. For 1.5, they introduced this new intro that's actually like pretty decent. It's interesting. I liked it. It's a and there goes our heroes killed while they were trying to play music. I gotta turn this off. If you're wondering where that music is, that's Final Fantasy, I think 6. Final Fantasy 6. That's when they're going with the floating continents or something, the floating islands. Midway point of the game. But yeah, that was the set music of that. Now let's go map, title map. Now let's freeze and then spectate all at once. And if you're wondering how they pull this off, they got a 3D wall. I think that's you can't have sliding things in Doom, so that's a 3D object. They got the little band people here. Let me have no clip. There's one thing I don't miss from old Zandro is the old spectate stuff. Yeah, it was annoying, but there's an entire audience here, and there's even like these guys can even change if you put a different monster pack in, and so you can actually have different enemies here if you did that. It's pretty neat. But yeah, you got an entire audience here. You got the little band going on. And what's happening here, well, besides the fact I froze it, is that what happens is that this zombie man guy here is aggroed to the Cyberdemons. The Cyberdemons attack him. And so what happens is the Cyberdemons fire rockets at him, but the band's in the way, so they eventually killed. The interesting part is that because of due to the, I guess, the random nature of it, it is possible for the zombie men to be killed without the entire band to be killed. So you might have one or two survive or all that. Let me see here. Let's kill this guy if we can. Or actually, I don't think I could do this if I'm spectate. Oh, never mind. Sweet. Okay, he's dead. And then we just freeze. You're free. There we go. Now the band can play in peace. And they got the little dancing cybers on the back. Ah, but yeah. Of course, they give noise a triangle instead of a real instrument. I'm sorry to all those triangle enthusiasts out there. But yeah. Let's see. Nope. There goes Gammu. There goes Gumball. Damn, it took me a moment to remember there. Sorry, folks. I don't have good memory. Goes Kyuteru. Again, like, man. I just don't remember names. And there goes the noise. There goes Mobster Matt. Interesting, he's got the trombone. And Pepino. They gave him a I don't know what the hell that is. I know Earthworm Jim used it. I do know there's like some weird electric version of it called the hurdy-gurdy. Oh, I missed. I mean, I think that would work for this guy. There goes Pepino. But yeah, that's the intro for our 1.5. It's pretty neat. Oh, I never checked these outer rooms. There probably isn't anything in them. Yep, there shouldn't be anything out here. Oh, whoa, what is this? A circle room? Whoa, what the fuck? Got a little couch. You got a round stage and the current. Okay, this is interesting. I didn't realize there was anything here. Was this the original? Hmm. You put a metal pole in the middle. It looks like a strip club almost. Hmm. Can't even say that on YouTube. This thing's gonna get R restricted immediately because of that. I have to live with that forever, knowing that this is gonna be restricted now. Oh well. Sorry, I'm not very good at chit chat. If you're bored or if you're wondering why I'm kind of stumbling here and there. Let's see the intermission. If I remember this. Oh, wrong kill. Sorry, noise. Oh, that doesn't kill? Oh, wow. Can I still do this? Okay, that works. Oh, you know what? I probably have music turned off. Whoops. Oh, they still use this. Okay, they didn't change it this time. Okay, they changed it in 2.0. Okay, now I remember. But yeah, like I said, this is from Thunder Force 4, the level select screen. Good soundtrack for my game. Highly recommend it. Alright, now let's go to 2.0. I'll be sure to have more things to talk about once we get 2.0 loaded up here. Let's see. So, like I said, I'll try to get back to playing as soon as I resolve this issue. Probably this weekend. I'll just freaking load up bottles, make a Windows 10 instance, put Zandro in there, Doomseeker in there. It should work hopefully. Hopefully, Doomseeker should be able to launch Zandro without any issues. I know it's a flatpak, but you know it should work. All right, if I could navigate these folders. But yeah, let's see. Let's get 2.0. Now this is the big one. They did a lot of different changes here. It's pretty neat. It has a more complicated intro. So let's go see it. Remove this. I'm sure to talk about some other things once we get into the testing map proper. As soon as I remember. So let's launch Byoc 2.0. The Byoc team's really flexing their map making skills. I can only imagine maybe in time that we'll have, you know, maybe a proper Byoc map set. That'd be great. I would love it. I'd be totally down for something like that. Now, I don't know the music for this one, sadly. I just don't have the information. You'll notice in the back room there, in the back room over there, you have some characters pass by every now and then. That's just a single actor just moving back and forth and it's transforming each time it's a wall. It's actually pretty impressive. I should note that every time you start this intro up, you'll have different characters around. Like you would have Melty Man here instead of Stupid Rat. You could have instead of Bomb, it's like another character. Noisette's always there because she's not actually a, how would I put it, an actor, but instead it's just a flat texture on the wall. So she's always there, always never changing. And they got Noise here, and you got Tony. Poor Tony. They did him dirty. I hope to see Tony get buffed in the future, but that's a discussion for later. But yeah, let's see. You know, I'm just gonna go to the tile map. It'll be easier to restart the map than restarting this program over and over. So, okay, I'm gonna instantly spectate. There we go. Oh wait. No flip. I'm gonna freeze. See if I can catch. Give me a moment here. All right. As soon as I get there we go. Oh, it's Doom Guy. But yeah, this is the tile map. That's the Wolfenstein texture on the back there. There's a road. That's it. So I'm gonna freeze this. Yep. Noisette's Cafe. Oh! Change to Doot. Doot's pretty good. I do find some of his weapons to be a little on the weaker side. But yeah, you can see here you got different characters. Melty Man eating a sandwich. I wonder if he actually bought that here or if he's just got out of the trash. Would Noisette allow loiters in her building? She probably does. Francette, full 3D on a 2D chair. Doesn't move at all. Pizza Tower guy. I'm surprised they let him in. He's in Krypton Day. He can't be in here because he's not gonna buy anything. I don't know. I mean, this is all kinds of interesting lore that I would hope to see explored maybe one day. Mobster Matt, look forward. Tony, probably planning the next heist or something. Next people they're gonna shake down. Oh, deposit goes nowhere. But you can see here, Noisette, that's a flat texture. Then you have that back texture. But if you're wondering, there is a character here. And the way they have it is that every time he like hits the wall, it changes character. And occasionally they'll actually run across. So that's how they get that going. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I need to get off my lazy ass and start making maps. Boy, real life just wasn't busy. And you can't really kill them because it's not really a monster as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it's just an actor. It's like a, you know, it's like a prop. You know, it's like a torch, except it can move with Doom monster logic movement. But yeah. Let's see. I don't think there was anything else on this map. I'm gonna cycle through the intro a few times. You got this little triangle here. That lines up with the tables, I think, or the chairs. Yeah, I'm not 100% what the purpose that serves. I'm sure it's some kind of Doom thing. Or like floors above floors or something. Well, not true floors. This is probably a 3D object or a bridge object. Maybe I'd know if I actually spend time making some maps. Back here. The player spawns over here. Probably just to prevent them from interacting with the actual map. Because in other words, you could have spawned in and you would have been able to shoot, and that would have broke the immersion. Probably. Okay, let's load this map up a few more times. And spectate. And F12. And freeze. I mean, I don't know why I'm doing that much. It's just, okay, there we go. You know, I just realized, yeah, so he starts off with Doom guy, but then changes. Door opens. Got stupid rat. We got the other characters. Oh, there's Pepino looking behind him. And there's Artie. See, I know his name. It didn't take me several minutes there to remember it. Bob. You know, it took me till 2.0 to realize that it's Bob as in capital B-O-B for the tall one, and then it's lowercase b-O-B for the short Bob. Man, Pepino seems so nervous. You afraid someone's gonna jump out at him? Okay, let's do this a couple more times. I don't know why I keep forgetting this. I need a F12 it. Oh, there we go. Boy, I just can't orientate myself. There we go. Let's see, we got different characters. I'm gonna try this a couple more times. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more characters. And if you're wondering how I'm switching cameras, when it comes to anything with cutscenes in Doom, which is just like a GZ Doom or a Z Doom feature added, you can hit F12, which is the chase cam. That'll change it, and you'll change back out to your character instead of the cutscene camera. Alright, there's a couple more times here. You know what? I'm just gonna no clip. There goes my pet. Oh my god. I just can't see. Okay. No. I don't know why I have to put that in just a weird place. Yeah, that's why I think your drink. I don't think anything else is interactable. The bottles, that's gonna break. A green bottle into clear glass. One more time. One more time. Multiple times a charm. And he just disappears. Poor noise. Slated for an update. Never got this update. Alright, now time for the main course here. Let's, I don't know why I bothered choosing. Let's check the test map. Ah, hold on. And yeah, the test map they made. I actually like it. It's very nice. I like that they actually managed to put the tile screen and the crits here. So if you actually play with a custom map set, I believe these get replaced with the actual ones from the custom map set if they have it. So it's really nice that you could do that. Certainly feels like they could turn this into sort of a hub map, or you know why I keep thinking of they could do something like an HQ map, like the good old Z Damon and Skull Tag days, where people would form clans, and it's like they'll make like little they'll make a base, and they'll have a bunch of rooms, and then all those rooms would have player names on them. So each player would get their own room, and they get to customize it with stuff. And people used to just form clans just to do that. And you had a bunch of these HQ maps that were just big empty maps with rooms that were just for people to role play in.
Shut up!
But yeah, I wonder if they'll ever go further with this. I was told they're unsure if they would. I hope they are. I sure would like to see more come to this map. Like more explanations. Maybe even what do those kids say these days? Meta progression? That'd be kind of interesting to add something like that. Not really sure how meta progression would work, besides just being a way for people to have lore stuff, maybe. I mean, that'd be cool. Sorry if I'm rambling, or if I'm boring, or if I don't seem too coherent. I don't usually do live chats because I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. I don't think I ever checked what these freaking things are. Oh, lights.
Shut up!
Okay. And we got this mystery empty room. I wonder where it could be in the future. Good old Homer. So yeah, this is the starting area with Noiset's cafe. It's strange how her cafe is way different from the intro. Like, what's up with that? She got multiple cafes? Multiple locations? This test map does have a way to summon creatures, and you get to fight them. Pretty neat. They even have a way to kill monsters with this little switch here, but they use the freeze damage, so they actually they don't leave any corpse behind. Really, that's really good. So in case someone's sitting here killing thousands of monsters, don't want to leave thousands of corpses to slow the game down. Yeah, power-ups. And then over here, more ammo. I got this big room. I got some markings for sizes 1024, 24-8, 256, and then they got this beer bottle you can DPS in. And if you look at the top right, you'll see a little text. I don't know if it's gonna pop up in the YouTube vid. It's tiny as hell, but it tells you how much damage you do and the DPS, the total damage, the DPS, average DPS. That thing's always pulling there, so it does kind of it is kind of weird. I wonder if it can support multiple players or not, because you know, it'd be kind of weird to have only one DPS meter amongst a bunch of people. But yeah, it's an interesting way to check their DPS. Something I've been meaning to do, possibly, you know, if I didn't have an actual job, I probably would have gone through the trouble building a DPS list of everyone's weapons. Then I come in like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart because I got everyone's DPS on every weapon, so that I could say, you know, it's like, oh, I objectively can say this character's too weak because most of his weapons don't do enough DPS. I don't know. I had some ambitions of possibly going the YouTuber route, but you know, with life as is, I kind of need the insurance and a stable job, so my days of possibly going like full on YouTuber are, for the most part, they're just put on the back burner. I don't have any plans on like trying to go full time with it, sadly. So, you know, my plans are doing like game reviews and maybe checking out some Doom mods and challenges or something. That's all gone for the meantime, unless something happens in the future. So now I'm just trying to maintain the channel by at least uploading something every now and then. Yeah, I don't know what the music is either. And there goes some Doom one. Let's see if I can turn it off. Yeah, I knew it. Come on. Wonder if there's a way to actually like turn this off proper. There we go. All right. Yeah, a nice little alleyway here with what I can only assume is a pile of or something. Or beans. I don't know. And there's a secret spaghetti here. You take the spaghetti you get from a dirty alleyway, and now you're back to 1 health. But yeah, let's go back to the map. There's this big wide area just to paint the walls with textures. All that fun. There's only so many decal depths you can have, but you can raise the limit through console command or through the display options. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. You know, I still can't really tell who this is. Is this supposed to be Peter Griffin? It's like, I have a hard time telling. Like, the glasses make me think, is that like some stylized version of Peter Griffin? Or is that supposed to be some Simpsons character that's heavily stylized. Yeah, I kind of find it interesting. They mentioned you can shoot it or draw on it, but let's see. So they got paintbrush, pizza, and then banana. Who the hell has a banana? Unless that's supposed to be like a bladder of urine, Mr. Postal Dude. Maybe that's what they mean by banana. Codsworths, chip ship. I should really play Codsworths more. I haven't played him for a while. Very fancy. Really like the skybox or the fact that you can have multiples of them. I need to figure out how to do that and figure out what freaking version of Doom Builder I'll need for Zandro. There seems to be a billion of them. Because it was discontinued, so now there's like 3 or 4 different versions of Doom Builder. One for GZ Doom, one for Zandro, one for like other stuff. Very frustrating. Yeah. Bit of a weird skybox. It's like they're in the middle of a lake of what looks like a I wouldn't necessarily say medieval, but definitely countryside. You got ghosts coming out of corpses. That's kind of weird. I wonder what the lore implications of all this are. Getting the best ingredients from hell.
Shut up!
And it's got this weird barn kind of stand here.
Shut up!
Little chair stuff. I actually find the theming of this restaurant confusing because it's like this side. I wonder if this is supposed to be like a dock, and that's supposed to be well, no, because that's land. That's lands. So this has to be the land, and this has to be like a boat or something. But that's really close to this giant pillar that could really wreck a ship. I don't know. It is kind of confusing. Because like it feels like it's a barn. It's very clear that that's a big block of hay, but like this is some kind of restaurant, a farm restaurant, a farm themed restaurant.
Shut up! Shut up! No!
Very peculiar, honestly. We'll be checking the skyboxes later. Wipe my shoes. And this is Lothers Room. I'm surprised Lothar got a really big room here. I'm going to have to presume that Lothar himself made the map, or made this room. He's got retro game consoles here. I wonder if it'll be like Doom Center, where it's like you click on the screen and you get transported to the actual game. That'd be interesting. One of them Tohos, and then it's gotta be those Gundam models. Well, maybe not Gundam specifically, but model kits. And those look like manga. That looks like Goku right there. Not sure what the other stuff is.
Shut up!
There's a safe. And I was able to tell this was Lothar as soon as I saw all the cups. It's like, oh yeah, that's coffee. Okay, this is Mr. Lothar's room. Doesn't seem like a bad place, but it does. I don't know. I haven't had to live in an apartment before, but I look at this and think it's a little weird to have your bed just kind of out in the open like this. I mean, I know that he's got that, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to sleep very well in a big open space like this, especially when you got direct line sight from the door. That's a convenient as hell kitchen though. Damn.
Shut up! Shut up! No! Shut up! Shut up!
Wonder if it's a cure egg.
Ow! Shut up! Shut up!
But yeah, that was Lothers Room. I asked around. Apparently, this is supposed to be Stickguys room, or room. I think I initially thought it might have been Mega Man sprites because the wall sprites kind of look like something from Mega Man. Yeah, apparently this is Stickguys, and he has nothing here.
Let's all go out for some frosty chocolate milkshakes.
You know, what did the Byoc team? What did Mr. McPig mean by Noisette offering ice cream to Mr. Stick Guy? You know, when I think about noise, the noise has been set for an update since 1.0. It's still on the itch.io page, and it's also in the one manual too. In the freaking manual, it's still there. He's still slated for a rework. Yet here he is. Noise still hasn't gotten his rework. And I've heard that Noise was originally the main character for Pizza Tower way long ago, but got replaced. So he's playing second fiddle. And then worst of all, people keep making like those Krillin memes with him. I saw a couple of them. They were really funny, but also it's just like, it seems like everyone just wants Mr. Noise here to suffer. And he gets cheated on and all that by his own wife. Can't say the other word because I think that'll be bad for YouTube. But it's like, it's like, what is the lore implications here? Is this on purpose? Is Noise just made to suffer? No update. Got cheated out being the main character of Pizza Tower. Got cheated out of a rework, and like just apparently getting cheated out by his own wife. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. It must be suffering being Noise, man. Just pure suffering. And I gotta admit, I don't think Noise in his current form plays super good. Like, I probably should save this for the tier list I will never get around to making. It's like I just don't get why he has a projectile weapon like this, but then he has the same exact weapon, just retextured. And if you just shoot fast enough, you can shoot as fast as his machine gun. But that doesn't have 100% accuracy, and it has a slowdown and all that. But it's like, besides the skateboard, so like you got three weapons that are the same thing practically. It's like, yeah, early game Noise is super boring. I really hope they change it up because I don't understand why you would give them three of the same projectile weapons. I mean, you could be very reductionist and say a lot of weapons are very similar, but in this case, for Noise, it's definitely very obvious. I mean, he's got his pogo. It's not bad. He's got the jetpack. But like his starting weapons, man, it sucks. It's like you gotta play up till you get a rocket. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna have fun. because I gotta get a weapon that's pretty good. Even though it's like, it's really the alt-fire. It's a straight shot, and it leaves a fire thing. Byoc, the Byoc team really loves their leaving a damaged fire or puddle or whatever. You know, they really love that. So, of course, you know, the alt-fire this is kind of just really the only way to really go with it. Primary fire, it's okay, I guess. It just doesn't match the alt-fire. It's kind of the opposite issue with Stickguy, where his grenade launcher, the gas grenades, are just better than his alt-fire in like 99% of the situations. Like, really, you just stick with the gas grenades. But yeah. And then you got the baddie spawner, but it's like it almost serves the same purpose as the rocket launcher. But then you also have the repetition of like you got the summonable, but it doesn't stack with oh wait, does it stack? They shouldn't stack. Maybe they changed it. I could have sworn you should get an error saying you can't have. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so you put Pepino out, fake Pepino out. You can't put the little noise baddie. Well, you could. I don't think that's intentional. But I mean, that would make them more fun to use if they, you know, you could actually summon both of them, and make it so that you don't end up just throwing away the baddie spawning once you get the BFG, because then it's just you're effectively playing with the chicken and Pepino, and then maybe every now and then you're gonna use the skateboard, because that's actually kind of decent, a little fun, a little on the slow side, but you know, pretty good. And then you know to drain your one ammo, you would just use the chain gun, and then you just switch back and never use it again, unless you just run out of everything else. But you effectively just be summoning fake Pepino, the chicken, and that's it. That's how you play Pepino, or you play noise. I'm sorry, you can tell I really should have scripted this. If I did, I probably wouldn't have these problems of like explaining everything. But yeah, I think noise kind of sucks. I hope he gets his rework eventually. God knows he needs it. This room is either Tony or Mobster Matt. Probably Mobster Matt, because I don't know. But yeah, got the nightlife city here. I actually kind of dig it. The geometry's simple, but like I really do just enjoy like thematic maps. Anything that isn't just more Doom maps that are just castle or tech that are using the vanilla Doom textures. I really like it, even if it's like really basic textures like this. Really enjoy being able to go like, huh, it's a new you know, theming. I'm not looking at the exact same stuff as I did before. Interesting that there's blood in the toilet and the shower. Wonder what Mobster Matt is doing. Oh, and the fridge too. Is he really just stuffing dead bodies in here, or what? Or is this a Tony Soprano reference? Yeah, it's a pretty nice little room. Hope to see these rooms get expanded on. I really would like to learn the lore of all these OC Donut steals. I mean, I guess you can't really say it anymore when they're in like an actual official thing, as in just a fan project. And this has got to be Gammus, because it's the only wizard character besides Warglock. But I doubt it's Warglock, because my personal headcanon is that Warglock would have like trophies on the walls, because he discovered guns, and he would probably hunt lions and shit with it and have them over a fireplace mantle. So that's why I would think, this can't be Warglock. This has got to be a Gammu's place. That's my reasoning. I would think Warglock would actually have like a reloading bench, a couple of his guns just hanging on the walls, the typical hunter kind of guy, and that's what I would think. I don't know what Warglock's actual lore is, but a test map like this could be a perfect place to expand upon that stuff. And this is a Kyuteru's. You could tell because it's got the little fox spirit here. You got the little fortune token things. You got the onsen. Well, that might be a little small for onsen. Could also be something else entirely. Excuse my cultural insensitivity of not knowing everything.
My boy.
Yeah, I thought I think it's really nice to have this sort of stuff.
My boy.
I'm kind of a purveyor of any Doom set that's like a map pack that's like, that isn't just the vanilla Doom textures. You know, Even if the geometry isn't necessarily complicated, I like exploring like places that are a little different, even if they may not play the best. It's kind of a case of like I do get tired looking at the same Doom textures, and so I just kind of like the more extravagant, more abstract, or the more detailed sort of things. And this is Sir Daniel's tomb, the only non-OC to get a map or a space in this map. It's interesting. I don't know why I chose Sir Daniel, but over here, very risen from his grave. Oh, good. There we go. But yeah, that's all the rooms. Now we could look at the skyboxes here. Have a little fun with that. But yeah, this is the Byoc test map. Here's the first skybox. You can never really see the coffee or hot chocolate here because I can see the sky portion of it. But if you're wondering, this is the skybox where it's like you could build stuff in the skybox, and then you could have a portion of the map display in the skybox. And that's kind of what's happening with the outside court area of that map. And if we go over here, we got that little barn area from Codsworths. If I wanted to, I could summon. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's actually kind of confusing what the hell's going on with Codsworth skybox here. It's like you got corpses, you got people dying. I don't know why. It reminds me of Conker's Bad Fur Day to some degree, like that one area with the barn. But that can't be what this is. Yeah, it's like, why are there dead people and ghosts? Why is there a bright barn and then what looks to be huts? Then looks like scarecrows. Lots of mystery, man. Just endless mysteries. And this guy, I believe this is for Kyuteru's room. Very serene. You could sit here and meditate. Go back over here. Any moment now. And Mr. Cyber Demon should. There we go. There he is. There he is in the skybox, terrorizing the lands. Yeah, messing around with skyboxes can be really fun. But yeah, other things to talk about. Let's see. What do I think of 2.0 so far? Pretty good overall. Of all the recent additions, I gotta say, all of them are pretty solid, just like 1.5. I am gonna have to say it though, but I do think Warglock's a little bit on the he's a little bit on the how I put it, he feels a little unfinished because he's got, let's see,
Magic missile.
he's got that quote, but he sounds like an old man when he's taking damage. Let me see, someone come on. Yeah, he sounds like an old man getting hit.
Magic missile.
But he's got like
Magic missile.
a pretty young guy sounding when he says magic missile. But I mean, I think Warglock actually plays pretty well. Like, it's very fun just like switching to your BFG. If I could switch to my BFG. Why don't I have it? Do I have it? I'll just do this. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, I can't switch to it. Oh, that's weird. You know what? New game. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. He's got these bricks. But going back to what I said, I do think Warglock, like, it's very fun to be able to just run into a place and just go full fire, including with the bricks. But I do think he feels a little on the simple side. Like, you know, he's got like, you know, just the basic 3 guns, and then like a lightning weapon, which is just like a straight. It's basically like Peppino's lightning weapon, which is also like some of the other characters' lightning weapons. So I kind of feel like, you know, I don't want to be mean about it because I'll be honest here, you know, it's like I do feel like Warlock, you know, probably could use a couple more guns. It kind of gets old when you're using like the shotgun or the SMG 99% of times, and you know, let's be honest here, they're just you know, they're just retextured chain guns and super shotguns. I do dig that reload though. That's pretty good. But it's not all that different from the other classes or from Doom Guy, probably more specifically. Oh man, I should have really written the script. But I do feel like that Warglock's just like, he just doesn't have enough guns and not enough spells. It doesn't help. I got a pet peeve for wizards who only can throw elements like fire, whatever. Because it's like, you know, to me, I think a wizard should be able to do a lot of crazy stuff, and it should always be like esoteric or wacky. Like, you shouldn't be like throwing fireballs. You should be like summoning something that throws a fireball. Like, you know, I mean, I guess it's just me because it's like, I'm just thinking like, why would a wizard, you know, exhaust himself having to throw projectiles when, you know, he could just like summon it and it will home in and such. You know, it's like, you know, basically not like, you know, the characters from like Avatar Last Airbender where they have to like dance to throw the elements. It's kind of one thing I've kind of grown annoyed because I look at games like Skyrim, it's like, you know, they just throw the element. There's like no real magic to how to use their magic, you know. You know, like a wizard would be like the type of person who would be like, oh, I'm just gonna pull a brick out of the wall and then enlarge it and have that crush my enemy. I know you can't do something like that in Doom per se, but you know, I kind of expect that kind of crazy, you know, out of the box thinking as a wizard. So that's why I look at Warlock here. I'm just not very happy about that. That, and also it's like I find his magic also to be very simple. It's like, you know, a flamethrower. We already got Pico who has a flamethrower that's similar, and he got like basic projectile, and then projectile but with explosive. And then you got bricks, which are bouncy, which are actually kind of fun to use, and it's got a good sound to it. But like, that's his BFG. That's like, I would argue I wouldn't have too much fun with this guy until I get to his BFG, and then it's like, yeah, now I can use his BFG. And I gotta say, when I was playing him in the 2.0 update, like it was fun just going around blasting places with bricks. But like, that's only after you get this BFG. There's also just the fact that the bricks themselves, I find that they don't look like bricks. Like they almost look like meatloaf, and you can almost look like the outer edge almost looks like a sauce, if you will. The problem with these bricks is that they don't have a hard edge to them. They look very soft. It needs like a very defined outline on the edge to make it look like a brick. Because right now, the only thing you tell this is brick is because of the sound effects. Without the sound effects, I would think this is like some kind of bouncy rubber, or like, is that meatloaf or something? Meatloaf with ketchup on it. I would say the bricks need a retexture. And as for like spells, I kind of wish Warglock had more than just like basic attack ones. Like I would think as a wizard they would have tons of different spells. More so than than the amount of weapons he's currently carrying. And I only know that he only has this many spells and weapons because they're trying to follow the Doom guy's kind of like design, where Doom guy has a certain set of weapons, and that's why Warglock only has like one spell per weapon and all that, or the same amount of weapons as Doom guy more or less. So you're not getting it like 2 or so weapons per weapon, which personally I would like to see more classes with more of that. But going back to Warglock, I kind of wish Warglock had more spells. Like it would be cool if he had some kind of ammo regenning spell, like maybe for 5 seconds he can make enemies bleed ammo, or maybe he could summon a food table, kind of like Stupid Rat. Or maybe if he's out of mana, he could do a spell to regenerate his mana, kind of like a mage in World of Warcraft with that one spell. God, I can't remember it. But it basically you just cast it and he regens mana, and it's got a long cooldown. But that's kind of what I just wanted to say about Warglock. It's like I feel like Warglock needs a little bit more cooking in the oven, and I think he'll be great. But as he stands, I do feel like he's a little on the weak side, and a weak addition to Byoc. I've heard some people say he's also weak. I don't know. I don't necessarily think he's like weak as as an actual character in terms of like the damage. He's actually got pretty decent. As long as there's rocket ammo to get mana back, that would definitely help. But I don't see too many Warglocks often. I saw more when 2.0 came out, but before 2.0 came out, like no one was playing Warglock. I know when the very first versions of those 2.0 versions that were leaking, that only had like 3 new characters in them. I remember back then, Warglock was designed to only get 2 mana per ammo pack. I'm so glad they fixed that, because if he kept that, he would have been one of the worst characters. Imagine trying to play in multiplayer and then having a Warglock go around and eat all the ammo up, like all of it, so he could get 2 mana back. I'm glad they fixed that. But I do think that it would be nice if maybe Warglock could do some more stuff for the team, like summon ammo for other people. Like, I don't know how, maybe something like the pizza from Super Rat, but like it'll be ammo instead. Or maybe Warglock could, if he's only replenishing mana from the rocket packs, but not like his like say I guess energy cell, then it could be like he could drop a maybe like a smaller version of the rocket packs so that other people can pick it up and get some ammo from it. But that's just like a couple ideas. My ultimate thing I'm just trying to say is that I think Warglock just needs a little more. Because I do think he's the weakest addition. As I understand it, I think this is like somebody's first character, which is why I feel bad about talking about like this. But I just want to be honest about it. That I feel like just a little more, and I think Warglock can be good. I kind of dig the idea and the theming of a wizard using guns, but I do think he needs just a bit more to him, a little more meat on the bones, a couple more guns, maybe a spell to even transmogrify his guns into something else, like turn the pistol into a rifle, so it could be more useful in the end game or something. Maybe instead of a shotgun, maybe go with like instead of double barrel break action, maybe get like a semi-auto one. Maybe a couple other different kinds of like rifles and machine guns. Yeah, there's lots of stuff they could do with this guy. So much. I don't really like the lightning weapon just because there's so many other characters with lightning weapons. Yeah, they're all different, but I just find that like they've done all the different lightning weapons they could do. The only thing they haven't done yet is the chain lightning, where it's like you blast the target with lightning and it bounces the target. That is so much fun. Like in World of Warcraft with chain lightning, it's fun just blasting targets and then watching the lightning bounce against multiple targets. Or in something like a game like the PC game Sacrifice, the chain lightning in there is insane and it's so fun. Which is why, I would certainly hope that maybe one day Byoc can get like, if they're gonna have yet another lightning weapon for the plasma rifle for some character, please make it the chain lightning. At least make it a little different. Don't make it just the quick lightning gun. Like so many other characters have. Like Peppino has something like that. Oh, Gammu has something like that. Although hers is like semi-auto. Sir Daniel has something like that, but it's inaccurate, but it's still the same rapid fire lightning weapon. And then you got King Magnifico has something similar, although that's supposed to be a parody of the lightning from Star Wars. Kind of wish you had more range on that. Let's see here. See if we could find it. Is he going to be on this list? Ah, there he is. King Magnifico still isn't on the actual list here. Hope to see him there more officially eventually.
Oh, no you don't.
Yeah, I find King Magnifico very funny. I'm actually disappointed that in 2.0 they changed him, where his weapons don't always make him say something every time he switches to it. I might make a patch to fix that. Oh, there's a hole in this cookie. You can see the little purple. Yeah, a little purple. There's a hole in that sprite. Like you used to hear him say something every time he switches to a weapon.
I swore I'd never do this.
Like this with a book, but you did it with other weapons. Like you did it with his DVD, and he probably did it with a couple other weapons.
I must have it.
There's more holes in this weapon. If you look at his staff, you can see like at the very bottom, just below the bright green center, you can see a little hole there. There's also another one at the top right. If you look to the left of the green thing on the edge, in the teal area, you can see a little hole there. But yeah, used to be a lot. I think King Magnifico used to be funnier in the older 2.0 betas because he actually he said something every time he switched weapons, and that was the funniest part.
That book is forbidden.
I mean, at least we still have some of his other weapons, but
bow down to your king.
It's really funny. I might actually have to pirate this movie just so I can get more scenes of King Magnifico, so I can make more thumbnails for the videos. I can't believe I'm actually gonna do that, but I probably will.
Now let's go set the stage.
But yeah, I like King Magnifico. Some of his weapons are a little on the like,
And
you
this
know,
is the thanks I get.
a little on the basic side, but I do enjoy him just because he's funny. I kind of wish he had like a real player sprite, but the way I've talked to one of the Byoc members, they didn't seem how would I put it? I guess they don't care too much about the character in terms of like beyond having him as inclusion. Like I don't think they plan on like expanding on him or anything. It was like something they managed to push this out. I still like him though. I think he's funny. Probably one of the funnier characters added. Absolutely, just like. All right, hold on, let me check. Okay, I'm still recording. Damn, I spent a whole hour here. I feel bad for everyone. Just bad for people who are going to be like trying to skim this, waiting for me to say something interesting. But yeah,
Hello.
I do find the level system to be interesting for Mr. Magnifico. The fact that you have to kill like 10 enemies and gather 10 souls just to get one level, and he's got like 100 levels. I actually like that sort of meta progression. I kind of like it more than Sir Daniel's, just because it's like, I don't know. I guess I do like it. It's just, it is definitely tough to play Mr. King Magnifico, especially once you get the BFG, because I just love just running into the enemies and just be like,
No chance to rise up. No
and like hit them. But that gets me killed a lot, you know. It's like, it's really bad to do that when you go up against some like these guys, because you'll just get shot. But yeah, you collect souls. Other players can collect souls annoyingly, but you know.
Now bow down to your king.
I haven't really used that spell much. I try to save all the souls I got just to keep using them. But yeah, I certainly like King Magnifico. Let's see some other characters in 2.0. Cray. Cray joins. Oh, I just realized that. Cray joins the fray. Ha, very funny. I haven't looked it up, but I get the feeling the person who made Nico character made this character. It just seems to have the same energy. I wonder if I'm right about that or not. But Nico, he's interesting. He's definitely. It really feels like the person here was trying to make it so this character plays differently from the others, at least in terms of like weapons. It's very well done, to be honest. It's pretty good. Really like the Gore 12 with the timing. Now, if only my wireless mouse won't screw me over. But yeah, I do enjoy his combo weapons and all that. I do think his the gas bomb from his rocket launcher weapon, when you combo, it's actually really strong. Maybe a little too strong. It doesn't take too much to get to it either if you're a good shot, and you can just summon this and it just constantly does damage. Man, the Byoc team really loves their like area effect weapons, area of denial, if you will, saturation weapons. Don't really know what you call it, but you know, it's like an attack that hits the enemy remotely and rapid fire. Doom monsters never stood a chance. They're not designed to take on that. Like, it's like summoning a phantom chain gunner to attack the enemy. You know, it's like, it's really powerful, regardless of which class has that kind of design. I don't have too much to say about Cray other than he's, you know, I think he's overall pretty good. I do think the beer weapon, I don't use it very often. once you get the Spaz 12 or the Gore 12, sorry, I don't really use the beer weapon much. Its all fire is actually kind of useful, but I also almost never use this. But that's probably because 99% of the time players set up the servers where you start off with the shotgun, or the map will just have a shotgun. So there's almost never opportunity to really be like, oh, I need to use the pistol. I need to use the pistol weapon. And you got the fist weapons. Got the Duke Nukem knuckle cracking, minus the actual knuckle cracking. What is the lore on this character? I know he has a little bit in the manual, but I feel like some of these characters, the Byoc team wants to tell a story. I wonder if they'll ever get to that point. I'd certainly be interested. Okay, there we go. I check again. Still recording. Still rambling on. Sorry about that, fellas, people, ladies, gentlemen. I'm just trying to just announce some things. But yeah, I'll eventually come back and start playing again once I just get a new version of Zandro running, and then I should be back up and running again, playing again. Try to get those videos out more. Wad Chan. Can't say she fits my playstyle. Yeah, she plays like a support character, so that's probably why. Like, all her weapons are also like, you know, short range or slow. Or they're, you know, they semi-auto. I never really liked the orange weapon. It just felt like Stupid Rat's jumping. God, I can't even remember what it was. Jumping jelly bean weapon, but it's just that it just felt so much weaker on Wad Chan. And then she's got like a bunch of other weapons that are like inaccurate, so you have to get close. And of course, you get close to something, you're gonna take damage. When I play Wad Chan, I find myself basically using the rocket launcher. It's good damage. It does freeze damage, so you kill something, it's gonna like freeze to death, and it's like I leave a body for an archvile to resurrect. It's honestly kind of fun to use. I don't know. I really like slow, heavy-hitting weapons. There's just something about using weapons like that that's just very fun. I do find the whole gimmick of using the painting the floor with stuff to be interesting, but I find the problem here is that Doom's the kind of game where you're supposed to be moving around really fast, like this, and having to do that on a tiny sliver of land to gain any kind of benefit from it, it'd be kind of difficult. So I find like the buffs from her to be pretty limiting. Not only that, but she can only put down so much at a time, and then it just starts disappearing, which I do find kind of frustrating because like you can't even put all 6 down before they start disappearing. Props to the guy who made all the icons for the different things though, because you can actually understand them. Like the heart, I could tell, oh, that's health. And then it's like you get the orange. It's got grass. Okay, that's the only one I didn't know, but eventually I figured out this was the this prevents you from taking damage from damage floors. So it's like having a rat suit as long as you sit in it. But besides that, it's like you got the shield. It's like, oh, that reduces damage. Very simple. And then you got this boot, which is like, oh, it's increased speed. A little easy to tell it's increased speed because of it, because how fast you move. And then you got the damage because it's a sword. It's a diamond sword from Minecraft. Ooh. I know it's not, but you know, it kind of looks like that. And so like you could tell, oh, that's damage. And incidentally, you put it on the rocket launcher. So it's like before you use a rocket launcher, you're always gonna be putting this down and then firing your rocket launcher. And then you got the cinnamon, which is like attack speed, which is like, you know, it's not bad, but you got a close range weapon. And not only that, but this thing hurts. I'm surprised they actually put this kind of like detriment to Wad Chan, because it's like, you know, Pico doesn't have to deal with damage from his flamethrower at close range. Well, his flamethrower, not his gas cans. And other classes with flamethrowers don't have to deal with this, but Wad Chan does. I'm kind of curious of why that was decided. Was it just because they didn't want? I mean, I guess it's because the flamethrower is this rapid fire thing, so they just didn't want that. But yeah, I do find the bubblegum being pretty useful, stunning things. It seems like there's been like a sort of a trend of people from the Byoc team adding classes that can stun enemies. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you got Anton with his balls, and you got the original with Morshu with his Deku Nuts. So it's like, so yeah, I kind of find it interesting that all these new classes are getting stun weapons. It seems a little, some of them seem maybe a little too strong. I'm kind of looking at Anton here. His ball is a little too strong, considering he could stun so many things so easily with it. But yeah, ultimately, I just wasn't a big fan of Wad Chan. She just doesn't fit a play style. She plays like a stupid rat with a more traditional weapon set. So I guess that's why I didn't like her too much. The BFG does kind of help make the little splash on the ground a bit better by being wider, but it still disappears so fast. I kind of wish it just lasted much longer, like kind of like kind of like Gungarth's paint. Understand they had to make this short because they probably were thinking like, oh no, what if like 5 people played Wad Chan? They'd be able to put every single buff down everywhere, and you know they were probably worried about that. Meanwhile, I don't think I've seen more than one Wad Chan in the game ever. Actually, no, that might be a lie. I might have seen 2 once for a bit, but it wasn't forever. But yeah, I'd imagine if you had 10 people play Wad Chans and every single one was just putting down buffs, it'd probably be a different story. But I just don't find Wad Chan to be super fun to play. Her BFG effect is kind of interesting, but I don't find I just don't find it too fun to play. I also find it interesting they put her on the freaking user on the screen when you're in first person. It's funny because I know that was throwing people off when we're switching to third person and first person. It was like I'm going forward, but bold choice though. I do enjoy when the user interface is like used to do something a little different. I appreciate how Byoc has been doing things that even I, just never realized you could do. Like just putting the character on where the gun is in itself. Like they did that with Bob and Bob and such. I'm like, wow, that's actually cool. I've never seen that in all my years in Doom. Let's see here. God, I've been here forever. Before I go to that guy, let me see the other ones. Let's go to Doot. Doot's pretty fun. He does have a lot of short range, though. For a lot of his weapons, it's like you gotta get close But I do appreciate how there's just like a lot of fun instruments. I really dig the this weapon. It's very, I really like that. Just pulls it out, and then that beam flash, you know. It's like, damn, that's cool. And it's actually a pretty strong weapon. You know, again, it lingers, it does damage repeatedly, it can stun lock things. As per usual, it's kind of low OP because it hits the target a billion times really fast. Human monsters weren't designed for that, you know. Rapid weapons were strictly to, like, you know, a few select weapons. So of course you put something like that on weapons like this, it's gonna cause imbalance. A little confused as why you get some kind of like grenade weapon for his plasma rifle. I mean, it's a bold choice. I don't think it's necessarily weak, but I just find it on the slow side. You know, I'm running around. It's like, I'm probably just going to do this. And instead of trying to rely on this too much. Maybe if it had more splash range or something, or maybe it shot shrapnel notes, maybe it would be a little more useful. But, I mean, I don't see why I would use that once I get the BFG. It's kind of a problem with a lot of classes where it's like, why use the plasma rifle at all when you could just use the BFT? I guess you could argue that, like, you're just going to be like, well, you know, you only could get that, you only could do that once you get the BFG. But I just find that, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I feel it's kind of a waste to have like to program an entire weapon, and then it's like you drop it as soon as you get the BFG. I mean, that's kind of true for about everyone's pistol weapon, all that, but that's probably something we just go into another day. Overall, I do enjoy Doot. I should probably play him a little more. I do like that he has a bunch of, like, you know, some extra utility on different weapons, and pretty wacky. Yeah, he's pretty fun. I think I probably played him a little one too many times during the during the 2.0 leaked beta days. So I guess that's why I haven't played him too much recently. I gave him a lot of time before. But I'll probably play him more eventually. There's just so many characters to go through and play. Let's go see Raven. It's interesting. I talked to someone who worked on this character. They said this guy is like based on like third gen, but with fourth gen. What is it? Armored Core games. I find his mechanics to be kind of interesting. I do think that you know, overheating is a little aggressive on the penalty, but overall, you know, I find him to be a really strong class. I definitely remember in earlier versions, his chain gun did way more damage, or he shot faster or something. I definitely remember just shredding entire rooms with just a chain gun. And it's still a pretty strong weapon, honestly. Very fun. Grenade launcher. The BFG is alright. I mean, it's strong, but it doesn't sound strong. You know, because my only frame of reference for Armored Core was Armored Core 2. And I had the, and in that game, the Kawasa sounded way different. Oh, wait. HLR01 Canopus? Oh, this isn't the Kawasa? Oh, no, it is. Wait, why is it called that in the side one? Is that what it was actually called? Okay, whatever. But I was told that it was the reason why it makes this sound instead of the actual carousel weapon was because of the way the weapon worked. I guess I understand because the carousel you could just fire; there was no charging. He probably thought that would have been too overpowered for that. Even though I think that would be fun to have. You could probably just have made it so that it just used a lot of ammo. But yeah, if you want to bounce it by making a charge first before firing, sure. All right. Yeah, I guess it would be difficult to come up with like an alt fire for it if it was like that. But I guess that's my only real complaint. I just don't find the carousel weapon this sound effect to be very good compared to the original carousel, which is like a winner kind of weird sound. I don't know. You just have to look up on YouTube and trust me, it's a beautiful sound effect. But overall, I find this class to be pretty good. I'm glad some of the weapons actually have some utility, like the pistol at least has an alt fire that actually does more damage, as opposed to just being like a pistol weapon that's like thrown away as soon as you join the game and you instantly have the shotgun, and there's shotgun ammo everywhere, so it's like you're never gonna really need to switch to the pistol. But I do appreciate that, more characters are having pistols that are actually like useful or has some extra utility. But yeah, I would say the Gallon Gun's definitely the real MVP early on. And then you got the rocket launcher because it's just, it's a rapid fire. Well, it's a grenade launcher technically, yeah. Laser rifle's alright. It serves its purpose. It just doesn't seem like there's too much reason to use it once you get the carousel. Because it's like, why waste ammo on this when you could use it on this? I don't know what you could do to make this to stand out a little more, but it would be kind of neat if there's just something else you could do for this. I hope there's like class remixes with Raven to have like maybe different weapon loadouts. I'd certainly like to see instead of this weapon, maybe get like the grenade launcher, like the ones in Armored Core 2 or something. I don't know. The whole remix thing is like very interesting because it opens up a lot of possibilities. To do remixes, like for a Pizza Tower Guy remix, you just right click on the icon and it tells you all, and then you select them, and you should become McPig Tower Guy, who plays differently than the regular Pizza Tower Guy. This character, I don't play Pizza Tower Guy very often. It's just one of those, like, I think I like being a little more active in my gameplay, but yeah, I do find the remix to be interesting. Maybe not so much the class itself, but the implications of having remixes. Like, it'd be cool if we could have a remix of Quote, so we could have like Curly. So like you could have Curly, who's may have like maybe a different starting weapon, maybe a slightly different BFG. Who knows? But like you'd be able to choose more characters like an alt, and like maybe a remix of Serious Sam. I would like to see him get his his second encounter weapons. I know that Serious Sam's already pushing the amount of weapons he has because more than what Doom Guy would carry, and they had to balance it by making him have less ammo. But I would like to see his second encounter weapons and introducing a remix of him where he has that, but maybe less ammo for everything else even further. It would be interesting. Or maybe even like a remix of which character was it? Marco. It'd be cool if maybe we could play Tarma or the other characters and have different metal slug weapons, like the double heavy machine gun, the drop shot, or even the different Mel Slugs. I would love to play the Mecha Mel Slug with a knife and cannon. Or maybe even just the camel or whatever, the different ones. I would like to see this whole remix system possibly going for other characters. I would love to see a remix of Marco. Maybe a Marco that plays like closer to, you know, like the other characters, like oh my god, Dot in the Gal. Dot in the Gal. Apparently the dot's very important. But yeah, I find it interesting that this character
Firepower
was made because I remember there were talks about how Bob and Bob used to work like this, but then they turned more into a generic class later on in 1.0. But then you have Indie Cal who comes in and does that, and then Bob and Bob comes back and does it. It almost seemed like as if Indie Gal was designed just to kind of prove that you can have a class where they're able to they start off with a basic weapon, and then once they build up their meteor, they can actually get a new weapon. So yeah, I found Indie Gal to actually be kind of fun to play and actually kind of powerful once you get used to her kind of loadout. Also, I can't look at these arms and not think of Mega XLR. It's the Mega XLR arms, just recolored, repainted, and added spikes. Man, I missed that show. That was a good cartoon. Then Cartoon Network butchered it and killed it. Sold it for tax write-off. Crazy. But yeah, I do find that for Indie Gal, I do find that one, the announcer is really hard to hear with everything going on.
Gun score and cannoli too.
Like the announcer can be hard to hear. I kind of wish there was like subtitles or something to explain it. Oh, that, and also you'll see in the bottom right, you see the screen that's supposed to show the character, but like it's obscured by the user interface. I would like to see that user interface like maybe flip to be on top of the screen. That way you can actually see the little screen, and you know you can actually hear the maybe understand the actual announcer and such. But yeah, besides that, I think Indie Gal is actually pretty strong. I think a lot of the weapons I get with her, though, I do find a lot of them tend to just be these beam weapons that shoot in a straight line. But yeah, overall, I would say this character's pretty good.
Undertale.
The randomization, I gotta wonder if it's got the same issues, like where if you choose a random class, you'll get like maybe the 5 of the same classes over and over. Because somehow the randomization seed isn't changing or something.
Gun score and cannoli too.
Yeah, man.
Hollow Knight.
There we go. Boy, I haven't played any of these indie games, so all these references going over my head.
Undertale.
Man, it's really a Sans Undertale night, huh? Overall, I think Indie Gal. Sorry, I know the dot's supposed to be important according to the manual. Overall, pretty strong class. Good overall. Her other charge meter where she can have a bunch of little stats are really good. I do find that going into that mode doesn't really seem really worth it until you fully fill it up, when you can actually like just start using like doing the punches, full punches without having to charge it. Like that bomb meter, it doesn't seem like it's very useful until you actually fill it up. But yeah, overall, pretty good class. Yeah, sorry, I should probably talk a little more about the remix version Pizza Tower guy. You instead of the farts, you could summon little houses. Apparently, online there's a way to like summon multiples. So like you can have like 3 or 4 of these out, and then you could just flood the entire starting area with ammo and armor pickups and such. I'm sure that's gonna get fixed, but that's certainly the interesting thing with him at the moment. I find his punches to be kind of fun too, but I guess there's also the bug where if you play as the remix Pizza Tower guy, if you go to the next level, your skin gets reset to the remix Pizza Tower guy instead of the player skin you switch to. So, hope that gets fixed. Let's see which other characters I could talk about. I'm sure people are just dying at this point to hear me say something. I guess I could talk about Bob and Bob for a moment. Bob and Bob, the remix, they got changed. It's like, what the? Let me just start a new game here. But yeah, Bob and Bob, they got changed in this. It's interesting. Like, this was what they originally were designed with. Let's see. I don't think my weapon pickups are working. I got the sandwich again. 2 sandwiches. Jeez, Bob, why did you get 2 sandwiches? Yeah, okay, so something's not working with this. Maybe switch to another person. And then back to Bob and Bob. Let's see. I don't get it. Why was that breaking? So I go here. I get the BFG. Okay, I got the BFG. And now I got that. And then I can just... Okay, I can't grab it. Okay. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was because of grab and change. Okay, whatever. See, I gotta get used to this still. Bob and Bob's changed so that you only carry 2 weapons. I do find its implementation seems to be like okay so far. I always say okay because ultimately I do find it kind of disappointing in terms of like it's just the same weapons they had before, but now you got a limited amount of ammo to it, and you have to grab them every time. So they like his lower tier weapons, like the rifle and the machine gun, they didn't seem to be too balanced in terms of like, you only it's like those are gonna be common, but like they're not gonna be super useful. They just don't. They just aren't strong. They're not like Indie Gal's weapons, where all of them are pretty strong. Where it's the opposite for Bob and Bob. A lot of their lower tier weapons too weak. And it also just kind of encourages you to like, if it's possible, to avoid grabbing anything else but like some of the higher tier weapons. So that way you can just keep rolling the laser gun or the fists. And it's like the laser, this shit's hot, man. It's like you get so much weapon charge, or you get so much charge to your special shots with the laser rifle. Not only are you doing good damage, but like it's like you're building up a charge so you could do your special shot. I don't know what it's called. I really should find out what it's actually called. Oh yeah, super. Okay, there. Yeah, it's something. And so then it's like, it's very easy to charge your super fast with like the higher tier weapons. Kind of expected, but like because of this, you really are incentivized to just carry the higher tier weapons and never low tiers. It's also harder to tell which super you're gonna be using because of which character you got selected. It makes it a little harder. Not only that, but currently there's a bug where if you use your super while selecting a weapon, like say the remote here, when you use your super, it actually drains ammo from your current weapon. This is most notable when you get the BFG here. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. I'm probably gonna have to. Let's see. Grab ammo. There we go. We got this ammo. Roll. That's also another problem with the current system. You really are encouraged to like never collect your other weapons. It's very difficult, but like you never want to collect these weaker weapons to flood your pool of randomized weapons with something weaker. Okay, super's ready. Let me get some armor. So this is what I mean. Okay, I got four of these fists, okay? I got 4 of them. Now I'm gonna use my super. And now I'm down to 0. Because those 4 shots actually took the ammo. And now I got nothing. And I think that causes like desync issues in online games, because it's like I'll be trying to use the fist, but then nothing comes out. And it's like, what the hell's going on? And I think that's basically what's happening. So that needs to be fixed. There also needs to be some rethinking on the whole which what weapons you get when you roll, because you only roll weapons you get, and while it's not likely you'll be skipping out on all the other ones, even if you intentionally try to avoid them, it's kind of hard to avoid picking them up sometimes. I do find that it's just like with this system, the more weapons you collect, the worse off you get, because you're just gonna end up getting all the weak weapons with rolling. And it's like, man, the only worthwhile ones are going to be the high tier ones. You don't want to waste your time with like the smoke one, especially the smoke one. It's like, why would I want to waste time with the cigar when I could just get the fist? Even if the fist has low ammo, it's like I still have other kind of like utility I could use, weapons and kicks. I also kind of wish each Bob actually had their own weapon for every tier. Like, I kind of wish, you got the big fist for the BFG for Bob, but I would like to see a BFG for the other Bob. Like, what would his BFG be? I would absolutely like it, though, if they did have different ones, because it would certainly make them a little less repetitious. This is another thing that Dot in the gal avoids, is that she has a ton of weapons. It's like 24. Bob and Bob are stuck with the basics, with the basic usual weapons. So they have far less weapons, far less variety. So I think Bob and Bob's in a weird spot. Not only that, but I think another thing I'm actually a little annoyed about is that Bob and Bob, now they get money from gathering ammo, but then that means they're taking ammo from other characters. This is something that I kind of touched on with Warglock. I probably will touch on this in the tier video that I'm never going to get around to making, but I find that it's kind of annoying when you have so many classes who can just, take all the ammo from other people. And I find that it's kind of annoying that there's not a lot of like ammo being given back to players. Like, imagine being a Doom guy and it's like you're coming up to a tough section and there's like, you're expected to have the rocket launcher. And then you have someone like Bob and Bob just run in and take all the rockets, because they're probably not even thinking that they don't even need to. It's like their class doesn't need it anymore. But it's like, maybe out of habit, it's like it's Doom, it's habit. You see something on the ground, you want to grab it. With online etiquette, you might be a little hesitant to take it, but it's kind of bad that that Bob and Bob do this now. Like, it's like, I don't want to be a burden on my other teammates by taking all the ammo from everyone else just because that's my class mechanic now. I would much rather if somehow I could go take the ammo, but then like give back to other players somehow. You know, it's like if I'm just grabbing this for money, it'd be neat if I left back like some kind of ammo pickups that are smaller that I can't pick up but others can. I mean, I think that would be the best fix for classes like this, or maybe some ability to summon ammo. You know, as opposed to not just having, you know, not every game's had pizza tower guy, so having more classes that can actually give ammo would be great. You know, and I think that's something that needs to happen more, especially with all of these classes that just they can take ammo, but they don't give back to other players. And nothing's more frustrating than like having all the ammo get picked up, especially if you're like, you know, it's like you're Doom guy. If you're playing Doom guy, you need the rockets to use a rocket launcher. Nothing's more frustrating than maybe a Bob Pizza Tower guy or Warglock just takes all the rocket ammo. Now you got no rockets, and they're just going to be able to use their their stronger weapons a little more often, like for a little bit. Because let's be real, the amount of damage potential a Doom guy with a rocket pack or like with a rocket pickup versus the damage potential of Bob grabbing rocket pack is like, you know, it's a 9-day difference. You might be able to buy a one weapon with Bob if he grabs a rockets. But for Doom guy, that's like 20 shots, you know, or 10 shots. That's a lot more damage. That's a lot of shots too. Meanwhile, like Warglock, it's like that's like a couple of shots with his missiles, magic missiles. So that's something that I'm not very fond of for classes like this. I don't like it when the classes they can take ammo, but they don't give it back to the teammates. I think it's very frustrating. This is definitely a big problem for characters like Quote, who's constantly going to be eating everyone's ammo if they don't realize that they're doing that because they're grabbing it for their experience. I'm going to have to talk about Quote at some point, but I think he's. Oh, yeah, there is something to talk about him. I'll get to that a little later, though. Let's see. Who's the other new characters? Spot Soldier. Spot Soldier is interesting. Also, I feel like I was a slight bit disappointed by him because let's see here. Because I play Spot Soldier, I see the whole all weapons either reload or all that. But yeah, I remember this class being like a lot of his weapons require reloading, and some of them were pretty slow reloading. I actually thought this was going to be like this was going to play more like Ash or Heavy, where it's like you got really slow reloads, but with the instance of Spot Soldier, you have a little shoulder turret guy who can help you to like fire while you're busy reloading. But like that didn't end up being the case. It's like the not the sound insulting, but I think that's what this class was kind of going towards. But then halfway through, they just gave up and just gave the guy a bunch of weapons that have very quick mag reloads. It's like come on, look at that. A quad rocket launcher with a speed loader. Meanwhile, Heavy has to like reload his rockets one at a time, you know? It's like I don't remember his old class description. I think his old class description mentioned more about the reload. But I actually was kind of a little disappointed by that because it's like, man, I actually wanted a tough class that was like, oh, you know, it's like you got to reload often. And then it's like you got low capacity weapons that you got to keep reloading. And I actually thought, you know, I wanted to play that. So much so that I ended up playing Call of Duty 1 because I just wanted to go around with like, you know, bolt actions and all that. And just go around shooting. Play through the game. I might eventually upload the footage. Had fun. But yeah. I do just kind of find it weird because thematically that's what it seemed like. It's like, oh, you know, you got all these low capacity weapons and you all have to be reloaded. So you need to rely on your little shoulder buddy here to shoot while you're reloading. But like, it's like there's no point after like you got the machine gun that reloads fast and has good capacity, like 40 ammo. Like damn, that's a high capacity. Hardly have to worry about the reload on that. Rocket launcher again, I think was the craziest thing. He carries 100 rounds and he gets it like that's effectively 400 rockets, and he just quick reloads like that. Crazy. I mean, I know I'm concentrating on the reload too much here. I guess it's on me for misinterpreting the class, but man, the prism shotgun, I don't find it to be too useful. Like, I don't see what the purpose is when you have the rocket launcher, splash, and then you got the BFG for bigger splash. It kind of just makes the whole piercing weapon not too good. Plus, it has spread, so it's not going to be like, I don't find it very useful. I also just find that, again, it's like, even the pump shotgun, it's just mag fed. I mean, it's not even so much as the mag fed, it's just the fact it's like, it's like, man, it's like that warning on him. It's like, all weapons need to reload. It's like, man, why would I need to worry about that? This guy reloads his 15-round shotgun so fast. Even though I don't find it super useful. Overall, most of the weapons are pretty good. For the longest of time before 2.0 official release, I didn't realize the M1 Garand and the pistol actually headshot. That just changes so much. It's like, holy shit, that actually makes them a lot more fun. Because you can actually headshot people with it. But I do find it a little annoying that the M1 has to have this only 4-round capacity instead of 8. But I'm guessing it's because it's like you can combo it with a crossbow. So you can shoot it with a crossbow and then switch to the M1 to finish things off. It just seems like it's a really strong combo, so I could see why they probably did that. Still, I kind of wish the M1 had 8 rounds or something. I don't know about the prism shotgun. I don't know what you could do with it. I just don't find it useful because the spread's a little too much. It doesn't seem very useful to be using against a bunch of low-tier enemies when it's like, why do that when I just have, the rocket launcher, I got the BFG, I even got the machine gun to a lesser extent. It just kind of makes the prism shotgun kind of like, what's your purpose? Where do I fit you in my rotations? Oh, and as for Spot himself, with the different let me get my controls here. With the different things he can use, I do find the mechanic to be interesting. I'm just a little sad that it wasn't more central to this guy's character. Like, I was kind of hoping that all of his weapons were going to be like super slow reloading, and that you had to rely on Spot more. But sadly, that didn't end up being the case. But overall, he's still a very fun class. Maybe not exactly what I was hoping he'd be, but As for the Spot's little weapons here, the snowballs, not bad. Kind of fast firing. It's kind of one of the more useful ones, honestly. The fact that it can freeze enemies too, very useful. The what was it? The neck spine breaker laser. It's not bad, but man, it takes forever to get shooting, even with the laser and the upgrades and whatnot. It's not bad, but it's not super strong either. But it is strangely a little more useful than the prism shotgun because it's like it shoots straight. So it's like if you got the spine breaker laser going, it's like, well, unless you're facing a lot of really tough enemies, I don't see why you would use the prism thing. And even if you're facing things that are very strong, you'll be using the BFG or rocket launcher. So I don't know. I guess I fail to see the usefulness of the prism shotgun. Going back to the power-ups. So you got the poison bolt or the poison dart. I do not find the poison dart to be very useful. One, it takes forever. Two, it does very little damage. It's like it does like 2 damage per tick, or maybe it's a percentage based, but like I found it did 2 damage on some enemies, and it's like, why would I wait so long to use the dart when I could just use the spine breaker or even the snowball weapon and do more damage faster? Like, I don't see the purpose of spending forever to fire one dart to take that long to shoot when I could have killed the same guy with a spine shatterer in like a couple shots. Like, let's see here. Look how much faster that was versus the dart. What's the point of the dart? I don't understand if the dart did did percentage, but if it did percentage, that would mean it'd be able to kill things like cyber demons once it does 100% damage. So I guess doing percentage would not make sense. If it did, that's absolutely broken, because then it's like you just get 10 spot soldiers all shooting darts at the big guys, and then they all just die in seconds. But as it stands in its current form, the dart weapon, I don't find the dart weapon to be very useful. Like, if it did more than just like damage, maybe if it had an occasional stun, it slowed the target down, it caused the target to leak projectiles that hit other enemies, maybe it weakened enemies by making them shoot less. I don't know, anything more, because right now the damage on this thing, pointless. I don't see any reason to use the dart weapon, and I don't, it's like, why use the dart? Why bother? Yeah, and the last weapon, the stun weapon. I like this one. I really do. It takes forever, but I really enjoy the whole shoot and then stun. It's really nice. It's not the longest stun, but like I do enjoy it. That like, it's useful. Overall, I find that most of the time you're just using the snowballs or the spine shatterer, and then once you get the BFG, you use the stun, and you never bother with the darts, because I like, unless there's like a custom boss with millions of health, I don't see why you would ever bother with the darts. You just do more damage with these. I get the idea maybe with a dart is that it's like, oh, there's a tough enemy. I don't want to I don't want to fight it per se, but it's kind of like, it's like, why bother like exposing yourself long enough to get a dart off when you could just take pot shots and just keep doing that? And it's like, yeah, you could stack them, I guess. It still just doesn't seem to be as useful, because like at the end of the day, the dart just does so little damage. So I don't see too much use for it. Maybe if you're playing Complex Doom and you were facing legendary creatures, then maybe it had more utility. Then I can understand. But even then, it's like, you have to sit still for so long just to get the shot off before you could dart them. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't find it useful. Same with the prism shotgun. The prism shotgun is high capacity, but like, all the other weapons reload super fast, or there aren't a problem. So it's like, it's like, any advantage this could have had, it just doesn't seem like there's too much use for it. But yeah, overall, not useful. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for 2 hours. I'm still not done. Well, for you guys out there, I hope you enjoy it. and you aren't bored to death. Let's see. But yeah, that's Spot Soldier. Decent overall. I do think he plays pretty well. He's pretty easy to like play him and get around places a lot. I do love the M1 Grand headshine thing and all that. Yeah. So yeah, we're running out of the new characters to talk about. But why don't we take a detour and talk about Quote and Marco a little bit? There is one big problem I have for Quote and Marco is that in the update, I saw the patch notes, the rocket launcher does splash damage now to yourself. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too big on that for both Marco and Quote. The main reason being that one, Quote was reworked in 1.5 to play a lot closer to his video game counterpart. And, it was neat that the guy went through the trouble of like reworking so like you only could have so many fireballs out with a fire weapon. Kind of like how it was intended. Like the original game, like the original Cave Store game. So you only can have 4 of these out instead of like flooding an entire area with them. Well, I do think I'm a little disappointed that they now take splash damage from their own explosives. I don't think it's ever been that big of a problem, especially for Quote. If anything, I think Quote's kind of like people don't play Quote. I don't see many Quotes play out there that often. If I do, it's usually when you can get the BFG, so they could just toss the BFG and do the big area effect. But yeah, Quote's like really hard to play because you have to get close to everything to get pickups. So seeing him get nerfed, I feel like I disagree because it's like you're taking away what players know about the characters. It's like if someone played Cave Story and then they went to Byoc, and they'd be like, "Oh wow, they implemented him very closely," and then the guy takes out a rocket launcher to fire it, only to find out that he's gonna kill himself using it. It's like, hey, that's not what was like in Cave Story. Especially with all the speed runs where they take the rocket launcher out and just blast, Balos close range, because the rocket launcher doesn't do splash damage in that game to the player. So I feel like you're detracting the fun aspect of like being able to play Quote in Doom by taking away the things that made him unique from his original game. If that makes sense. Basically, I'm just not happy with it. And same with Marco as well. It's like, I already don't see too many Quotes out there because I think the 1.5 scared everybody because he's a lot harder to play because you have to get really close to things to get any damage. But then you take any damage, you lose all your buffs. And if you don't have any armor, you just gonna die, which is gonna be often. So that's part of why I don't see too many Quotes. To which I say, at the very least, let him keep the explosive. Like, Quotes away on like on an uphill battle by having to gather backpacks, which are kind of rare, and you're not guaranteed to even have some on some maps. And he has to collect backpacks to get more rocket launcher ammo. Oh, did I break it? I can't get more than 20 rockets. Or was that... I don't know. Maybe they changed it. Maybe we nerfed it some more. What I'm ultimately saying is, let the man get close range and blow things up with a rocket launcher. I don't see any reason why he can't. Like I don't remember a single time where a Quote came in and then blew up every enemy with a rocket launcher and completely dominated the map. I haven't seen that. If anything, I just see Quotes die and then they change class. Like let Quote have his one thing, and that being able to fire rockets at close range. And I want a remix class for him so I could play Curly. And I also want to see like let's see maybe what was I going with this? fuck, I forgot already. But the point stands is that, oh yeah, let him also get like health pickups, you know, like in the original game. If you want, if you're gonna go with at least in terms of 1.5 update, if you're gonna make him accurate to his original game, let him get health pickups that expand his health. Just make them like super rare. And yes, just let him stack with Basingas. Like, no, I don't think it's broken. Like, I almost never see a Basinga. So, like, why worry about someone being able to stack Basinga and quotes health thing when that almost never happens? Like, I've seen times where people, the times I do see a Basinga, they aren't putting presents down to get the health pickup. It seems like people have completely forgotten that it even exists if they even heard of it before. So it's like, I mean, I don't see any reason. Sorry for the rambling. Basically, what I'm saying is, don't nerf Quote and Marco. Let them have their explosive close range. That's like almost, you know, that's pretty iconic to the original game. Let them have that. You know, most other, you know, like look, Sir Dan. Okay, let's talk about this. Sir Dan gets to have a rocket launcher. God, where the hell? There he is. Sir Dan gets to have a rocket launcher where he can shoot at close range, and he doesn't have to worry about that. And that's by design. That's what his weapon description says. So he gets to have a close range rocket launcher weapon. And yeah, I know it looks like a bow, but it effectively fire rockets that have an explosion. It doesn't do as much as a rocket, but it's still a huge splash damage. So it's like, why does Sir Dan get that? He's a melee-centric character, but he has a billion range weapons too. So why does he get that? But characters like Quote and Marco have to suffer, and they're like, you know, dedicated range classes. It's like, why does Marco have to suffer? You know. Speaking of Marco, I would like to see possibly him getting reworked to play closer to his original games. It'd be kind of cool. And then you can actually buff Flame Shot and Shotgun to be way stronger. It'd be kind of cool to have Marco play like his original, like just using, say, the Dot in the Gals and Bob system, but for Marco. And then you can even have like a remix of Marco with Tarma. And you could add different weapons, like the double heavy machine gun, and then the drop shot, and then different Mel slugs. That'd be cool. That's a big thing. I would love to see more Mel slugs. Like, give me the different ones, you know? Like, you know, I would love to see the, you know, the camel, just because it'd be funny. The other Mel slugs, like, there might have been a submarine. I don't remember. There are definitely different Mel slugs, and I would love to see them get implemented. That'd be fun, more or less. And you could just have the different characters like Tarma and Theo and all that have the different Mel slugs. And there you go. That's a suggestion. I hope that happens. But yeah, let the men have their explosive weapons close range. Let them play closer to what their original games as a bonus. I mean, Sir Daniel gets to have a bow that he didn't have in the original game, so that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying, let Marco and Quote have their explosive weapons. You know, I don't see why. I don't see them breaking the game per se. Well, except maybe the homing rockets on Marco. They're kind of cracked when you spam them. But you know, again, it's just whatever. All right, I'm dragging this way too long. It's been okay. Let's talk about the last two classes. Anton first. Anton and his balls and his other weapons. Overall, Anton's pretty decent, but I do think he's really imbalanced. It's like, you know, he's got his ball. It's just so fucking good, man. It's like you stun your target and then you hit them. Yeah. I do think that Anton isn't as, like, I guess, as straightforward as Peppino. I would certainly say Peppino's, like, charge is way stronger than Anton's hammer. because Anton's hammer doesn't do a lot of damage, and you get slam and you bounce back when you slam into something. This has cost me lives, where I would use his hammer, and then I would bounce back on a single revenant, and then I'd die because I couldn't get past him because I couldn't slam past him. I'll probably eventually upload that footage, but yeah, that to me that was frustrating. It's like I couldn't punch through a single revenant with this, and it got me killed. It's happy hour. You know, I definitely think you should have some kind of like ability to go through enemies or something, or maybe knock them back better. I'm surprised that Ball Buster is even a thing, because it's like, you know, I know a certain member to a Byoc are not very fond of like classes that can just sit back and summon things. But then 2.0 introduces like multiple characters that can just do this. And now you got like, you know, Anton. You get to summon an army of little guys to fight. And you even get to summon other characters too, like he could summon a range one, and he can even summon wait, no, I think that's it. And he also gets extra utility by being able to hit them. Well, if I could. Well, you're supposed to be able to, but okay. If you do that. But yeah. It's like, you know, it's kind of like Basinga almost. It just seems kind of weird that like you can do this. You're gonna spam these guys and they'll just. It's just like they're so fucking good. You just summon 20 of these guys, and they'll do like, I'm surprised there's no limit. I mean, like, it's crazy, you know. I'm surprised they did this because like they nerfed the shit out of Tony with his phone call, but here is Anton just being like, "Oop, I'm just gonna be as, you know, as broken, if not more broken than Tony in 1.0, and this is just one weapon. I could fall back on a bunch of other weapons." Meanwhile, Tony's stuck with his limited Gabagool ammo pool. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like, you know, overall, I haven't played Anton Blast or Pizza Tower yet. I'll eventually do that. But yeah, Anton, it took some time getting used to having to slam. Okay, it's not working. Okay, let me restart this. There's very clearly some kind of script breaking going on when you switch classes. Wait, okay, Anton Dynamite. Okay, here we go. I do enjoy that, like, you know, there's all this extra utility if you learn it. It takes getting used to because it definitely goes based on the direction of where you're facing. So you face up, you hit the thing, and it goes upwards. This took a while because I have a tendency to point a little downwards. So I was having this happen a lot. You just slamming stuff into the ground. But yeah, eventually I got a little used to it. It works pretty decently. And you got a pretty good gun. You got the ball that stuns enemies forever. It's like stupidly strong. I'm just shocked that this is allowed. Or, you know, it just kills them. It's like, it's crazy just how good it is. And you can just keep stun locking enemies for a long time. You know, it's like stun. Stun. Oh, I didn't know there was supposed to be a little graphics on there. It's absolutely broken online. Yeah, it's just like you can stun them, and you can get some damage in them. If I can play. I don't find the Royal Flush to be super useful. I mean, I guess it's just something to use. It's just something to use. The manual detonator. Interesting. I kind of like it, but it's also, I kind of wish it did more damage. But I understand it's because you could put like 4 of these down. and you could slam it. Well, you could put one down, then slam into it quickly. But yeah, pretty solid class. I don't have too much more to say, to be honest. Maybe a remix where you could play the chick or something. Don't know what you would change, but that'd be kind of neat. Okay, and finally, I'm sure people are waiting bated breath. Hours later, they're waiting with bated breath that I talk about Mr. Spamtom, the sexy Tumblr man from Undertale. Oh wait, no, Delta Room. Some things to say. One, I find his whole gimmick with the chroma at the bottom kind of hard to read because it's just a box instead of like a bar graph like I would expect. I don't know if that's intentional or not, or if that's just a limitation. I kind of wish it was a bar graph because that's infinitely easier to read, especially from a corner of my eye, as opposed to this number at the bottom with different colors, you know, in my opinion. But that's just me. I find, I find Spamtom to be kind of decently strong. You know, his BFG is definitely up there. And his global heal with that charge shot for his thing, it's like
National Spamton.
And then you can put this down and you get, you can heal people. Honestly, and then you got the items you can put out, which can also heal depending on which ones you get. I think it's kind of crazy just how much healing capabilities Spamton has compared to other characters. It's like, even just one of these is better than, like say the Gabagool on freaking Tony. Like that thing heals, it just sucks. Meanwhile, Spamton, just global heal or area of effect heal with the thing and all that, and I get that as soon as I spawn. It's like I don't have to get any weapon, I just charge shot this. Given I probably shouldn't put myself into debt immediately, but you could build up your wealth by killing enemies. So early on, you can't really do that. But later on, I was finding myself just being like, okay, I'm not doing anything. Charge shot, let's see if I could get a heal. Or, I guess a free projectile. But yeah, I don't know, I just find that kind of crazy, just how much extra healing Mr. Spamton can give to other classes. There's a lot of utility with all the different weapons. I do like how it's like, I do appreciate that he actually gets a car when he uses car weapon. Unlike another class named Tony, who doesn't get a car when he switches to his car weapon. Not only that, but I kind of feel like Spamton's is better than Tony's, because Tony's, you slam, it does little damage. For Spamton, it's like you slam the target and it actually knocks them back significantly, even against even a Hell Knight. Even against a Hell Knight, you knock them back pretty well. Like, look at that knockback. That's better than freaking that's better than Anton. Like, Anton, he'll be dying because he can't push the enemy back and get through. Spamton though, no, he gets to do that because it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I do think that Tony's kind of like a little weak, and then I just see this and just like, man, Tony doesn't even get a special graphic when he switches to the car, but Spamton does, and his car weapon's better than Tony's. I guess that's something I was going to talk about eventually. I just feel like Tony's kind of like outdated and been nerfed too much. Because classes that things that Tony's been nerfed for, other classes just got away with. I don't know. That's probably the discussion for another day. But yeah, Spamton. Overall, I do think he's pretty strong. Yeah. Apparently in the earlier versions, Spamtom would crash the game when he ended his special power. Yeah, have a strong character overall. It's very clear someone on the team is absolutely obsessed with this guy, and that's why he got all the bells and whistles with all the weapons and such, including the advertisement. Look at that. There's like 1 billion different images in those advertisements, isn't it? Try not to die here. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's certainly a. I guess I just don't have too much to say because I haven't played Delta Room, but you know, I know a little bit about the Spamtom man, and overall, I think you know he plays decently. I do just kind of find it kind of funny though in a way that he's got some pretty strong effects, you know, like yeah, he's like a support class, but he isn't as weak as one. And speaking of support, he can give people different power-ups and whatnot. And one thing I kind of found a little annoying for a lot of these is that if you look in the corner, you could see what effect you get. I mean, that one's a little self-explanatory because it's pizza, you know, pizza tower guy, so he's got the farts, so that's why that thing gives you farts. But I found that with some of the other pickups, I actually found them to be far more cryptic. Like I haven't seen. Well, this one isn't all that cryptic, but one of these power-ups has like one where you can't move. And that's killed me before because I literally couldn't tell what it was telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing. Like, okay, that was a self-explanatory icon. As soon as I get out of that here, let me see if okay, that doesn't give me more money. Okay, not that one. There's the towel one thing. It gives armor. That does something. Bleed. Is that. I'm just gonna have to go. Oh, it was this one. Yeah, what the fuck is those symbols supposed to mean? A yellow triangle, a circle, and a red cross. But like, I had no idea what it meant when I was playing online, and so I was moving, you know, because that's the big thing about Doom is you're always moving. So I didn't realize why that was going up, and then I ended up getting killed because that kills you. Here, let me actually get that again and demonstrate. Because, like, you know, how is anyone supposed to interpret that's what that's supposed to mean? Is what I would ask. It's like, how was I supposed to know? Yeah, maybe I'm too salty for it when it happened, but I do feel it's kind of weird. It's like, what are those icons supposed to mean? There's like a lack of readability of like, well, what does that mean? Like the other ones weren't too bad, but that one was definitely one of the worser ones. It's like, geez, what does that mean? I know there's more of these. Let's see. Oh, this one is that one. But yeah, I found some of those icons to be a little difficult to tell, so I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I understand these are you're supposed to be able to like not use them, but you know, I can only imagine the players who end up getting the one that explodes, and then they just get themselves killed because they don't understand that you're not supposed to move, because the little icons aren't supposed to mean anything. They're supposed to mean something, but only to the person who made the graphics, if you know what I mean. So, well, okay, enough complaining. What else was I gonna bring up? There's something else. see. Well, yeah, no, after 2 hours, maybe I don't have anything else to say. Jeez. Yeah. Overall, I guess that's my, my commentary for 2.0. Overall, I think it's pretty good release. Really glad to see some improvements overall. A little sad about a couple nerfs and such. I saw the Gammu Nerfs and I instantly saw the patch to revert it. So that's kind of funny. Okay, that is something else I guess I can say. Gammu got nerfed in most areas. I guess it took the Byoc team forever to realize a super nuke was a little much, especially when you could use it at close range. It was basically a free jail card. It was like, oh, something's going on. Switch to your nuke and just kill them. Oh wow, you can't even move now. Wow, holy crap. Can't move when you're trying to fire that. Wow, they really, really nerfed this. They went balls to the wall in the nerfs. Poor Gammu. I could see. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I can't see why, somebody would absolutely make a reversal on that nerf. But yeah, I don't know what to say about it because I don't play Gammu too enough. But I will say that I mean, she was broken before, but it was because of the poison pools. You put a pool down, it would just keep hitting the target. And then you had the summon guy who would put a giant line of that stuff. Like, look how much there is. Why would I ever use any of the other summons when I could do that and all that damage? Like, holy crap. That's why the poison staff was so broken. That's why you would use the slime ghost guy to put a trail down. Like who the hell would use the fireball guy, the fire skull guy? The snowman guy, he had some utility, like a sentry. I still want the engineer from TF2 in here. I don't remember who it is, but they were like, oh no, the sentry would be annoying deal because it's stationary. Meanwhile, Gammu gets a sentry that's stationary. Yeah, I know it's not the same thing. Well, I guess that's another complaint for another time. But overall, it's like the nerfs for Gammu, I kind of see it because one, the nuke was, I see the point they were trying to do originally. The whole idea was that why, it's like the whole point is that the nuke was like on this sort of like 5-minute timer or something like that. And so it's like it was very difficult to make good use of it when it's like, it took forever to reload. But then there's just kind of also like a point of like, because before it didn't do self damage. So it's like you could go into a teleporter and it's like it could be there could be a jump of attack. So it's like you'll go through a teleporter, all of a sudden there's like a bunch of monsters around you. You could just toss a nuke and you would invalidate the trap completely instantly. So I could see why this may have been changed. Oh, there's a hole in this staff. Look between her finger and the staff. There's a little pink thing there that's flashing. Yeah, there's a hole in the sprite. Wow. I don't think that's intention. Oh, okay. It kind of becomes not a hole when that's happened. Okay. Still though, I don't really fully know the implications for the nerf for Gammu. All these nerfs, like they nerfed the lightning gun. I don't know if it was that overpowered. It was definitely strong when you charge shot it, but you had to charge shot it. The summonable cloud guy was kind of okay, but I think the cloud thing, I think the problem was that this thing would get stuck trying to hit enemies or something. But maybe they buffed it because again, I know for the fact that the poison staff was what broke for Gammu. You would just put pools down, the enemies would get stun locked, they'd take a ton of damage. It's almost like as if Doom monsters weren't designed to be hit rapid fire by stuff like this. Because it's like putting one of these down, pre-nerf, it was like putting a chain gunner hitting the target. It'd be almost equivalent to that. The target would keep taking damage. They would get stun lock in place. It just all around Gammu was just so powerful. And it's like, wow, no wonder Gammu got nerfed when you could do stuff like that. And it's just like you could just it's like you could just put this down and it would damage them. Wow. They really did nerf the poison damage a lot. They should have been dead faster, but yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like before though, you would just put the poison down. It's just man, it was crazy. You got a lot of ammo. Wait, whoa, 600? She's got 600 with this? God damn. Gee. That's crazy. 600 rounds for that. Crazy. Yeah, overall, I guess talking about Gammu, it's like it definitely felt like some weapons were just, it's like I didn't see too much reason to use the frost or fire staff because it's just like I don't know. They just didn't seem super strong. Maybe they fixed it with this latest version. I don't know if I'm ever gonna end up playing it though, because if people keep posting the pre-nerf Gammu file on the servers, I'm not gonna be able to play this newer version online to kind of get my unbiased opinion, or unbiased as it could get. But overall, I probably should have played Gammu a little more. But I do appreciate a lot of work went into like the staff changing. That's pretty good. Kind of wish it reflected on the actual sprite. I guess that's another complaint thing to say for another day for classes, for stuff like that. But overall, it's like, yeah, it's been pretty good for a good amount of classes to have what they can show so far. But I feel like the Byoc team could do so much more if they spent more time working on like older classes, give them more things. But that means going back to older classes. I can only imagine some of the Byoc team doesn't want to have to like say go back and make it so that Johnny Killer can pull his sword out and actually show that on his player sprite. I can only imagine they're like, I don't want to go back and do that for him. But I don't know. I feel like for some classes and for certain things, it'd make a lot more sense to do it because it kind of almost works for the personality. Like Johnny, Johnny and Killer 46, they both they use swords. It kind of almost seems appropriate for their character to be like they actually show that they could pull their sword out. But I mean, I guess going back to Gammu here, stop being distracted. But overall, it's like, yeah, she's not bad. I do appreciate those kind of like, there's some differences between all the different attacks and such. I do have to bring up my old pet peeve about wizard characters, and I do kind of feel like Gammu hinges on the edge of that, where it's like, I mean, I know she isn't like physically flinging her arms to throw or dancing like an avatar, but I do think it's kind of weird to see like for her, it's like she just throws elements, and it's all direct, hit weapons. There's no, I guess, more planning. It's like, what if you could use the poison staff and then use the ice staff to freeze it, and then you do some kind of like freeze attack thing on there, and you changed it. You know, like yeah, more you know, esoteric or more complicated things. You know, I mean, that's just me though. I just think with wizard characters, they shouldn't be straightforward. They shouldn't just be, oh, he's an elemental guy from Avatar, and he just throws one element, and there's like no interaction or interesting, you know, usage of it. You know, it's like, why can't I put the poison down and then shock things with my lightning staff? You know, I don't know. That's me. Again, I just have a personal pet peeve against wizard characters that don't exhibit what I personally consider wizardry characteristics of all they do is throw an element. You know, it's like I feel like they should have more crazier magic that's like more wondrous, more extravagant, more esoteric, more you know, not straightforward. It's not just I generate an element and then I shoot it at the target. You know, that's me. You know, so that's me. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what other people think. Maybe I'm just too, being mean to wizard characters that they're not fitting my definition of a wizard character. But you know, yeah. Well, I think this video's been going on long enough. I was like, oh my god, 3 hours. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry I rambled on so long, but I guess this was supposed to be an update overall for the channel. It's like I'll try to get more videos up. I'll try to get back into playing Byoc again here. You know, I do have, I did get distracted a bit with friends wanting to play some other games for a bit, but then they bailed, and it's like, oh, well, great, now I got nothing at this moment, especially since I can't play Byoc because I can't get Zandro to compile for goddamn Pop OS, that stupid meme of OS. I wasted my time trying to get Pop OS working. You know, it's like I tried Linux Mint. It was actually pretty nice, but it just didn't have the latest drivers with the standard, or the standard release. Like you had to go and download new drivers through a specific script just to get that to work. Just so I could use my new graphics card, my 7900 XTX ATI card, which is, I think last gen, but it has 24 gigs of RAM. I know Zandro is not using a lick of that RAM just because it's very it's not optimized for modern hardware. It's still using SDL 1.0 for God's sake. Oh my God, this engine's ancient. It really needs a facelift. I hope it does. So one day we can actually play the nuts.wad without lagging. Like if Doom was optimized, you should be able to play that without any problems on modern hardware. But that also means sacrificing probably some accuracy and stuff. But yeah, I kind of hope this video explains some things, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. I'm sure I'll be shocked if anyone even watched more than 5 minutes of this one. I just ramble on about nonsense and shit that nobody cares about. But yeah, I guess my ultimate opinion on the new update and a couple other things, and Dying the Gal, pretty strong, pretty good. Cray, pretty good. Theming's kind of interesting. Warglock, I like the concept. I think he's just a little on the raw side. He needs a little more time in the oven, and I think he could be a lot better. Like, just give him a couple guns, give him a couple extra spells. Spells that aren't just, throw element. Maybe a spell to, like, cause an enemy to bleed ammo. Maybe even a spell to transform his guns into something else. That'd be cool. His name is Warglock, but he doesn't have a Glock weapon. It'd be kind of cool to switch his pistol out for a Glock. His Nambu or whatever gun that is. Wad Chan, I appreciate the character. It tries, but it just doesn't fit my style of play. And I kind of just wish the buffs were a little easier to spread around and help people more. as it stands, it's kind of difficult to do that. Spot Soldier, not quite what I was expecting in terms of the whole reload system, but it's like I still I just he's still fun to play. I just still kind of wish I had something more like a Ash Williams or Heavy, where it's like the reload is like a lot more severe, and so you had to rely on the little Turk guy. Like to me, that seems like the amazing part of the concept. It's like I kind of feel like that was what was probably originally aimed at, but then they gave up halfway through when they just gave them the SMG and the other weapons that just are like super quick reloads and such. It's like I don't know. I guess I was in love with that concept, and I was sad that it wasn't it. But almost miffed about. But ultimately, and I see a lot of Spot Soldiers. He's definitely popular. It seems like a lot of people like Spot Soldier, so at the end of the day, he's pretty good. Raven, pretty fun. His overheating mechanic's a little hard to get used to because man, it is absolutely brutal when you trigger it, and you just can't find any health, or you can't really afford to spam your melee when you're when that's got to lunge you forward. Like maybe you're on a ledge or a cliff, you can't really just afford to do that. Overall, pretty strong. I'm a little sad about the Kawasaw not sounding like an actual Kawasaw, but I understand it. It was probably just to balance the weapon. Although I will say you could probably change that if you give him a remix, give him a stronger BFG by making his other weapon weaker or something. Oh shit! I forgot about Spy. Oh no! Oh no! We'll get to him last. Dynamite, Anton. He's pretty decent. Some of his, once you get used to him, I am annoyed that his hammer attack and his BFG cannot crush through enemies like Pepino's alt fire, his sprint, or whatever. Like it's really hard to make use of it. And like I said, like that stuff like that costs me lives. The hammer attack just doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion. I kind of wish it just did more damage or something. I don't know. Overall, he's still kind of strong. A little strong because of the summons too. Kind of strange. Doot, probably should play him more. He's kind of fun. Maybe not the funnest. I do find his plasma rifle a bit befuddling. Kind of wish there was a little more to it, or a little more uniqueness to it, or a little something to it to kind of give it more uses. Overall, still fun. Need to play him more. Bob and Bob changes. He needs. I would love to see it if he got unique weapons for each Bob, for each weapon, so that there's more weapon variety. That's important. And it gives you a little more strategic advantage of like, hey, do I want Bob's, shotgun or Bob's other shotgun, Ultimately, I think like Dot Indie Gal does the gimmick better. Bob needs rework. He needs more work. He's all on the raw side. The changes to Quo and Marco, I'm disappointed in that. I really think they should get their explosive effect. Like, come on. Look, Sir Daniel gets to have his explosive bow that's effectively a rocket launcher, but reskinned as bow. Why can't Quo and Marco be able to have their close range rockets? It's not like they were that broken. And in terms of like, currently what 2.0 brought, it's like it'll be interesting if Marco got a rework to play closer to what he originally does. I mean, you already proven it within Indie Gal and Bob and Bob to a lesser degree, So it'll be interesting if Marco gets that treatment, or if he gets like a remix that makes him play closer to that, and then you have Marco play, like this one. So you got the old version and the new version available. Although I can't imagine too many people would care too much either way. Overall, I would personally say you should revert to explosive because I don't see too many quotes. I don't, I see a little bit more often in Marco's, but I don't remember the last time Marco completely ruined the difficulty of a map by just being close range and throwing grenades into something. Like, I don't see that being such a huge deal. If anything, they should be able to do that to play closer to like their original game, so that so people can appreciate it's like, oh, it is Marco from Metal Slug, not Doom Guy reskinned as Marco, and then like the knowledge of I played Metal Slug. I know you can be at point blank and throw grenades. So I kind of wish that would be the case. Oh, that also, I guess another thing I want to see is for Marco, when you run out of grenades, I would love it if you could like switch to the knife. I would like to be able to just run up to people and alt fire with a knife and then instantly go back to shooting the pistol or something. We'll love that. Another thing. Let's see, all that. Okay, then Spamtom. Mr. Tumblr sexy man guy. Interesting class. Has a surprising amount of mechanics. It's very clear that he's somebody's favorite. Very, very much so. I find that he can just do that global heal with a starter phone weapon. Kind of crazy. I think he's got the other heal with his flag. It's slow, but it's like, damn, man, this guy's got so much healing on top of the other power-ups that can heal, at least some that can do that. Versus like, it's like, damn, he can heal more than like some of the other classes that have healing. Like, he's certainly a better healer than freaking Dr. Doom guy, who has to wait till his plasma rifle. Meanwhile, Spamtom, once he gets enough chromer from like just killing a bunch of stuff, he can just start spamming his phone and be like, "Hey, man, global heals or flag heals." It's like, well, fuck. What's the point of Dr. Doom guy at that point? Yeah, I mean, I know there's more to it than that, but I do feel like it's kind of crazy just how you say favorability Spamtom got, if you will. It's very, kind of like how Homer has like probably one of the most broken BFGs, but they're not going to over nerf him. He's an iconic, character. So of course he gets that overpowered BFG. And, if someone really fucking loves Spamtom, the Tumblr sexy man, probably ships him with that one Twinkie guy from the Lorax movie. The other Tumblr sexy man. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially with his advertisements. I know what you are. But yeah, Spamtom still fun. I guess ultimately he's fun, but it's very clear he's somebody's favorite. And of course, lastly, I forgot earlier, after practically 3 hours, we finally get to talk about Spy. Interesting class. Does seem to play a little safe with like, in terms of like, he's Doom guy safe. I guess I'm gonna have to explain that in more detail, but basically, it's like Doom guy's a chain gun. Oh, this guy gets a machine gun that works very similar. Oh, it has to reload and such, but it's basically that. Although, from what I understand, almost every weapon here is a reference to a comic. Like The Prisoner, like, and all that. Overall, I do find his weapon selection to be pretty good, just because it's like some of them are really strong. The machine gun is but I'm sure if I found a comic to it, it'd be more interesting to me. Like the Prisoner gun, the 6-barrel shotgun, absolutely fun. The funnest fun you can have with a shotgun. You just go up to the target, and it's just, oh my god. Damn, that is amazing. That is absolutely fun. That is crazy. You just go up to the target and blast them, and you got this super satisfying reload. It's like, oh my goodness. Holy shit. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think Doom Guy's shotguns isn't measuring up. Like, holy shit. There's nothing more satisfying than this. Jeez. They could one-shot arachnotrons, man. That's beautiful. That that is just fun. Like, goddamn. If you're playing Spy, you're using this gun. Forget the other ones. I mean, even the pump shotgun, the double barrel one, isn't that bad either. But you know, and it's got a nice reload. But you know, it just can't compare. Like, this thing is just stupid good. Boom. Jesus. Man, it's crazy. It is so good. It's so damn good. And you can even block projectiles or something without fire to some degree. Not sure how effective it is, but it is something. Crazy. Just crazy. The rocket launcher, that took me forever to figure out how to do the different methods, like the splits. It took me forever to figure this out. Like, you have to fire a rocket and then pull the remote up and then click it, and that's how you use it. This isn't explained in the help or the manual. That's something the Byoc team should do. They should absolutely explain that you need to fire a rocket, then pull up your remote, and then you press the different buttons to do something, to make it do something. Like, for the longest time, I couldn't figure that out. It took me a million years to finally figure that out. So I'm like, when I'm using a rocket launcher, I'm like, how do I use the homing? How do I use the splits? And it's like, oh, that's how you do it. So you fire, bring up the remote, you click what you want, and it does it. Okay. So you have to do it in midair. For the longest time, I was trying to do this and then do that. I'm like, okay, splitting missiles. Okay, where's my splitting missiles? You know, so that's something the Byoc team probably needs to explain in the manual, at the very least, I would hope. So yeah, I also like the crusher. You know, it's crazy because most of the time I just do this. And it's like, oh yeah, you could point at the roof and drop a piano. Very fun, very fun, very comedic. Love it. And a helicopter. It's fun. But dude, this thing breaks a lot in multiplayer, sadly. Like it's actually pretty fun. And it's kind of crazy you get around to fly around and shoot. But boy, does it suck when it stops working. Because you'll probably get to use it once and then it stops working afterwards. At least in online multiplayer. Very good, very good. You also teleport once you finish it off. So, but yeah, I do find it's kind of crazy that let's see. Yeah, we're gonna grab a couple of these. I think it's also really stupidly crazy that Spy can just buy these holograms that attack enemies. Let's just grab some, because let's be real here. This is what was happening on online. Even though if they don't necessarily do a ton of damage, they'll stun like anything to death. And they seem to have trouble getting hit because they just do the A chase when they start shooting. I mean, it's crazy. Like, you could just summon an army of spy ghosts and they just kill anything. Anything short of like a, cyber game. But look at this. I don't have to do anything. That's just crazy. That's crazy to me, you know? Like, man, you couldn't do this with Tony. Not even 1.0 you could do this with Tony Soprano with Pauly. But here, Spy, he just summons an entire hit scan army of chain gunners. Like, damn. And what is it with the Byoc team making all their summonables rapid fire chain gun like units? It's crazy. It's maddening, almost. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm a little annoyed about this because it's like, ah, man, this kind of goes back to the whole. I think Tony feels outdated and he needs help because like he's not necessarily weak. He can still be pretty strong once you get his BFG, but I think Tony needs a rework. A lot of his early weapons are kind of crap, and like his only saving grace is like his BFG. Polly's like he has Polly, but like in 1.0 you could have multiple Pollys, but they nerfed them so you can't have more. And it's like it's crazy because it's like, oh man, Polly's overpowered. We better nerf him. So Tony got nerfed and shit. Meanwhile, 2.0 comes out and look what you could do in 2.0. You could literally summon an entire army of these ghost guys, and don't say that you couldn't do that because it costs so much money. I've seen this happen multiple times online. It's not hard to get several thousand bunks. Like look, I got 35,000 from just shotgunning a few of these arachnotrons. It's pretty clear to me it is not hard to get a ton of money on this guy. It doesn't take too long, and then you could start just cramming your not despawning at all after a while. Guys, it's crazy. This is crazy. I don't know. I'm shocked that this happens because I was told by some of the developers that a certain dev or two have a real hatred for well, maybe that's a bit of exaggeration. They have a real disdain for classes that summon units and then stand back and do nothing. Even though we got quite a few classes that actually do that, just not with summons, or even in some cases like Pizza Tower Guy Remix, he can sit back and let his summons do everything, especially if he glitches out and summons things, or in this case, Spy can just summon all of this. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. Yeah, it's just an interesting observation. Polly was too strong, but this wasn't, and somehow this wasn't caught in testing for 2.0 for the years it was out. I don't know. It just seems weird. It's kind of weird how balance goes about it. It's like this character's not allowed to do that because it's too powerful. But then a new character comes in and just is able to do what they did, but even more. That's just insane. That's just crazy. Like, I'm shocked there's no limit to this, or there's no limit to the life, how long these guys last. Or the fact that these guys rapid fire shoot and don't stop, like a chain gunner. And they even do the A chase script thing where they're like jumping left and right as they're shooting. I'm like, holy shit, man. It's like crazy. That's crazy powerful. I mean, again, Tony isn't even allowed to have more than one Polly, but this is allowed. Like, I don't know. I just find the Byoc team's sense of balance is so weird. Oh man. Oh man, my headphones can't even play all the sound effects. It's like quiet and being drowned out. Holy crap. And they don't even block each other. When they're shooting, they can shoot through each other too. Holy crap. Like, damn. Polly was never this strong. And here we are, new character introduced. He's like, yes, I gotta be stronger than every other character. I am the cheese. I'm the best character ever. But seriously, I do like Spy. He's pretty good. His shotgun basically makes the character. I do like he has had a lot of other extras. So it's like he's not just, he's just, he actually has extra cool stuff. I appreciate that. Like, I really do appreciate that. It's actually like, wow, he's got extra cool stuff you can get. But yeah, I think this is kind of crazy. again, it's like why can't Tony have like more than one poly, but this is allowed? And like again, I thought there was a person on the Byoc team who hated like players being able to just summon things and stand back and do nothing. Because as I understand it, there was a class made in the early Byoc days where it's like they didn't like, that's kind of creepy. There was a class that was effective like the Zdoom Wars class, if you will. Like the entire class was just nothing but summoning units and laying back. And apparently that was something that one of the devs didn't like, and that's why that class never made it to the light of day. I don't know which class they're talking about or whatever. I don't know the full details, but apparently that was the story I was given. And so it's like that's why even with the dedicated summoner class, where is he? Mega Man Sprite. Where the hell is Mega Man Sprite? Find him. Is he on? Oh, there he is. Even with the dedicated class that can summon stuff, all of his summons are like limited. You only could like summon one guy at a time, and they're all designed so that you're supposed to like combo with them. So it's like you can summon them, you can let Zero fight, or you could like actually use them and do like an AoE. So it's like you're not just sitting back, you're kind of like there's an activeness to it of like trying to actually use the different summons. Even though like the B one, that's not really a summon. You're just putting something down and shooting homing projectiles. And the bees spawn so fast, this basically becomes your main weapon. It's like, I'm not super big on Mega Man Sprite. I guess I just don't get the humor, but also because it's like most of the game, this is your game most of the time. You're putting the wasp gift down, and you're just doing this, and you're ducking out a corner. Maybe you'll put stuff out every now and then maybe you'll feel frisky and be like, oh, I'm gonna be cool and I'm gonna do the basketball thing, but then I get killed because I got too close to the enemies. That kind of thing. Jesus, it's like an amalgamation of spies. Seriously. Like, look, Mega Man Sprite can't have more than one of these characters per character. Meanwhile, Spy gets this? Is he some dev's secret favorite? I mean, it wouldn't be a secret, really, when it's something like that. It must be like Spamtom. Someone must have really loved Spy, and they decided, hey, he should have one of the most broken summons ever. Like, holy shit. But yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, I'm sorry to everyone to make them suffer through this 3-hour video. Holy moly! Oh man, I didn't even get to talk too much about the map. In terms of like, I'm kind of hoping to see that maybe it'd be kind of cool if this map got like expanded. I would like to see more lore for each character. I think there'd also be some really cool aspect of like maybe tying meta progression. Maybe not so much adding extra weapons for characters to visit back here once they complete a certain amount of main maps. Maybe something more along the lines of like, you beat a certain amount of maps, maybe you find like a super rare drop that unlocks a door, and then you could find more lore about a character or something. Or maybe it lets you like switch a weapon out with something different, something else. I'm only thinking about this because there's a mod out there for GZ Doom called Doom RPG. It was discontinued, but what I loved about that is that you get this little hub map, and like in that hub map, it's like you could like buy weapons, and if get the compatibility mods, you can make it work with other things like Doom Arsenal. That was the big one that was paired with it all the time because it gives you a bunch of weapons and weapon crafting and stuff to collect. But like the cool thing was that it was a map hub, so you could actually like go to the hub. You can actually get a mission to kill like maybe a specific enemy, then you could go to the main campaign and you could like switch back and forth if you wanted to, or have special missions. I kind of feel like you could do that with Byoc here, but understandably that wouldn't make too much sense because there's not a lot in terms of like meta progression for these characters, and I can't imagine abandoning what made this mod good, which was simple classes that are, most of them are straightforward, not hard, and it's not like say D&D where it's like you gotta grind New Gothic 105 over and over, or New Gothic map 5 over and over to get stats and grind and such, and then going back to the lexicon just to like, maybe choose Pizza Steve or, Alien Vendetta if you're lucky. But, being able to play the classes and just being able to do, have the weapons be simple and straightforward for most of them. So I could see why, the idea of like some weird meta progression stuff doesn't make sense. But I still kind of want to see something happen to this map and be more than just a test map. But I guess I'll have to wait and see if the Byoc team ever has any ideas to go further with it or not. But yeah, sorry to make people, wait for 3 hours. I'm sorry if I rambled or mumbled or whatever. I'm not the best speaker. It's kind of why I haven't made any real commentary stuff. I should have really organized this better with like little notes. It's, find what topics to talk about. But yeah, so this was an update from me. Hopefully, I'll get back to playing Byoc again, recording new games, and hopefully I'll get some of the all that old footage I still have, a ton of it, to start pushing that out more. And hopefully I could push like a bunch of Anton Dynamite footage, like for like five videos in 5 days or something. That might be something I'll do. It'll depend on if I could get the time. Just real life gets in the way, all that stuff. I can't spend too long on the YouTube videos. As for all the stuff I'm hoping to do in the future, like making maybe a Byoc mod of like adding new classes and maybe a map pack or two, I hope to get those done eventually, but at this rate, it's definitely gonna be like years out. I'm talking like I'm probably not even gonna get anything done until like 2 or 3 years. I'm not even gonna have anything ready for it to release. So, I know I've said that before, and I'll be honest. I kind of try to say things like that because I'm hoping that maybe if people are actually looking forward to it, it might give me the drive to try to work on that stuff more. But it hasn't really resulted in too much yet. I have some preliminary work on some stuff, but again, it's like I don't think I'm gonna get anything out for years, and I still have to like learn to draw and crap like that. But if you're still here after 3 hours, I'm like, what is wrong with you, man? Why do you sit here and listen to me ramble on for so long? But I also appreciate that someone's willing to listen to my ramblings and crap. So, but yeah, that's kind of it overall. That's most of my thoughts for a lot of stuff. The tier video, I'm hoping to, if I get off my lazy ass, maybe I could eventually make it, and then I could also, talk about things that kind of bother me about Byoc. Like, it used to be a bit more prominent, but a lot of classes had like pretty weak pistols that just like you never use them. As soon as you start the game, you just get the shotguns. It's like there's no point to pistols. That's something to complain about. I already complained about Warglock, complained about Wad Chan and the power up thing. Overall it's a lot of Trollface, I mean, I guess I'm gonna throw this out here. I feel like he's become predictable, so all the memery around him is just not funny anymore. He needs. I feel like he should have more to him. Like, I'm surprised there aren't like weapons for uh Trollface that don't just flip upside down for him. Like, imagine if you just switch it to oil and all of a sudden it's upside down and you're tossing it and it's going to the roof instead of that. And like, what? I mean, I think that's the problem too. It's like Trollface has become predictable. You know, I guess I'll go in more elaboration in that in the time. Okay, time to stop dragging us out. Well, I hope you people enjoy this, or you know, good to know that I'm not dead or anything and all that. And I'll be back to playing Byoc soon, hopefully. I'm either gonna have to nuke my OS or just make a Wine instance and just play the Windows version through Wine. And well, hope you guys have a good day. And if you got any questions, ask them in the comments. I might be able to answer them and all that. So there you go. Goodbye and good night.